Hey Wargamers, welcome back to the channel, Death from Above Wargaming. I'm Aaron, and I'm back again with Mission 3 of our Alpha Strike campaign, The Price of Courage. So, to date, the Atrean Knights have been on a tear, and in Mission 2 they absolutely decimated the forces of the Federated Commonwealth. Those 7th Donegal Guard were sent packing, and the Atrean Knights didn't take any casualties, I don't think. So here we are, Mission 3, because the Atrean Knights won. That force got to pick the mission, and I chose Taken Hold at high escalation. So this is basically maximum point value for this campaign. I believe it came in at 282 points exactly. Typically you'd round up, but I built both forces to 282. So very excited to show you what I've got on the table tonight. This is a bloody mission. If the Atrean Knights can even score a minor victory here, they will win the campaign. But if the Donegal Guard can deal a decisive blow, destroy a lot of mechs, and he got a victory, we'll see what happens in Game 4. Alright, so remember guys, we're on the planet of Eton, and by now the Knights have realized that there just is no talking these Donegal Guard down. So they have now pushed deep into the Coral Reef area where the Donegal Guard have their critical base slash landing, I guess like a starport if you will, built out off the coast. So pretty cool. I've got a brand new map tonight, brand new map from Deep Cut Studios. Love their products. They always have some great stuff. So I just bought myself a whole, did some quarantine retail therapy. I bought myself a whole bunch of new battle mats. Last week, actually, we saw one that was the swamp mission. That was brand new. And then tonight, I've got a really cool one to show you. So excited to dive in. Why don't we go over the repairs from last week? Lots of damage to be dealt with. So let's take a look at what's going on there. All right, the repair summary for the Federated Commonwealth. This is the 7th Donegal Guard and the 7th Donegal Armor Brigade. Both of these forces not doing so well. The Donegal Guard down to 67%, and the vehicle side down to 86%. The last mission, just an absolute travesty. So it all started off with the Cyclops taking a headshot, Scrappers dead, the mech now salvaged in the hands of the Atrean Knights. It also took a weapon hit as well. The King Crab took an engine hit, is down for repair. It's going to cost 15 support points to fix this thing up. Overall, the armor, though, is in pretty good shape. No internal structure damage, just that through armor crit to the engine. The Merlin and the Vulcan both toasted, so just spare parts laying on the field there. The Pursuit Lance did okay. Just the Locust taking some structure damage there, so that mech down for repair. And the Warrior just taking armor damage, so that will be ready for action. So the support points here, 109 is what they've got left in the pool. On the side of the Free Worlds League and the Atrean Knights here, so the 5th Atrean Knights doing amazing. Actually have not taken a single casualty this entire campaign and have salvaged 2 units, the LRM carrier, and now the Cyclops as well. The 502nd Atrean Fighter Wing, both aerospace fighters still intact. So last game, that Marauder broadsword took a few points of damage to the armor. The Wolverine got messed up bad, almost killed, but still alive. That mech is down for repair with hits to fire control and, of course, substantial structure damage. The Scorpion light tank also down for repair, taking some internal structure damage as well. And Torch in her Corsair just taking a little bit of armor damage there, just 5 SP to fix that thing up. Now the Cyclops actually not in bad shape. It did lose all of its armor, but remember the Cyclops lightly armored, just took 1 pip in the structure, a weapon hit, so really not all that expensive to repair, just 11 SP. So that leaves the Atrean Knights well positioned in terms of forces. They do have a little bit less in terms of support points than their adversary, but again, in terms of actual mechs and units to field, they're just doing very well in this campaign. Poor, poor, poor scrapper. That is sweet salvage. I mean, it's like a war trophy. This Cyclops. It is. It's unfortunate, but such is the way that the dice fall. That is something that's going to go down in the lore of the Atrean Knights and the Donegal Guard. I sense a bitter rivalry forming here between these units. Now, why don't we see what we're bringing to the slugfest tonight? Okay, so let's dive into the 7th Donegal Guard, Federated Commonwealth. So I have a pretty good force here. I've got 5 vehicles and 4 mechs, a good mix of speed and armor and toughness. I want to get little units to the center first, and then big units backing them up, able to take a beating in close. So I've got a battle lance, just a standard battle lance. So these guys are going to get lucky 6, and they're led by the infamous Bubbles in her Banshee BNC3S. This thing is slow, but it is just beastly. Overheat 2, lots of damage across the board. She's backed up by Stealth and a Zeus 9S. This is a great mech. As you guys know, I love the Zeus, so always great to field these. And it has decent speed, so it should be able to sprint, get into the fray pretty quickly. And then I've got 2 mercenaries. So as part of our campaign rules, you can spend support points at basically a 1-to-1 ratio with point value and hire mercenaries. So I hired a Wolverine 6R. This is skill 4 pilot, and that costs 30 PV, so that's a hefty price tag, 30 SP out of the pool there. And then I also hired a Grasshopper 5H, and this is a skill 3 pilot. This one this one definitely hurt the bank, 44 points I believe for this particular mech. So we've got Sunburn in the Wolverine, Demon in the Grasshopper, these guys hailing from the Iridani Light Horse. They had some elements in the system, and after that beatdown, the Donegal Guard called in for help and gave them a hefty paycheck. So moving on to our vehicles here. So we've got 5 vehicles, and 3 of them are ground-based. I've got a Partisan heavy tank. So this is a brand new mini I picked up recently from Ares Games and Minis. I love this model. You know, the big sort of anti-aircraft guns on it. So this thing is pretty solid. It's skill 3, it does damage across the board, and it can take a pretty decent beating. It is a little bit slow, but this one I'm not really planning on getting in the fray out of the gate. Backing up the Partisan is an LRM carrier, so this one was down for repair last mission, but he is back in action now. We all know and love what this thing can do. I've got a Savannah Master, the lone surviving Savannah Master. This thing is going to be moving on as quickly as it can to get to the center and hold that down until supporting elements can show up. And that Savannah Master is going to be covered by 2 H-7A Warrior attack helicopters. So these are skill 3, and you know, they're not very tough. And remember, they cannot control an objective per our campaign rules, but they can contest it. And as long as that Savannah Master can get in and claim the first point or 2, and those warriors can be there to help contest, that's all I need. Just a few turns to let those mechs get in and get into the slugfest. So that is the force here. That's the 7th Donegal Guard, backed up by the 7th Donegal Armor Brigade, and then of course backed up by those Iridani Light Horse mercenaries. And here we are on the side of the Atrean Knights. I've got a battle lance here as well. So I thought about going with a command lance again, but I wanted to just, I mean, honestly, when it's do or die like this, you don't want to be messing around. Rerolls are where it's at, honestly. So Falcon is back, and he is back in his Zeus 9R1. This is a custom variant that I ran through that card generator that I made. Great mech. Didn't really see a lot of action last game, so excited to get him in the fray this game. I have Archangel in her Orion. This is an ON1R. This is also a custom variant. Drops that LRM 15 down to a 10, adds some more heat sinks, dials up the weaponry a bit, and actually what you end up with is an Orion that is very similar to the ON1K, except it has an overheat value of 1, so pretty cool there. I also have the Mighty Stalker. So this is an STK-3F, and this thing's just nasty. I mean, 4 damage at medium range with an overheat value of 3. I am looking forward to melting some mechs with this guy. That's piloted by Reaper. And then, of course, Vegas. She's just phenomenal. Been on a hot streak here. So still skill 3, but that nice overheat value of 2. Looking forward to bringing that in the fray. I think keeping her in the back and then moving her in later in the fight will be a good strategy there. Again, that rifleman not particularly tough, sort of a bit of a glass cannon, but those well-placed shots. Vegas has been known to roll some 12s, as we have seen. So that's the lance. That's the battle lance. And one fun fact here: when I actually painted the Atrean Knights, these were the first 4 I painted. This was the sort of the command lance as the narrative and the fluff goes. So excited to get these 4 on the table for the first time. The vehicles. Here's what I got. I got 4 vehicles. So 3 on the ground. I have a Striker light tank, a Scorpion light tank, and a Hunter light support tank. That Striker, real good at short and medium range, pretty tough, moves very quickly, so can sprint 8 inches, which is phenomenal. We all know what the Scorpions do. They just miss all day, so I brought another one of those. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to rumble it into the fight and see what I can do. And then this Hunter, love this one. Again, 3 pips of armor, 2 pips of structure, good damage across the board, can reach all the way out to extreme range, so very excited. And the Hunter and the Striker, both skill 3, again, that Scorpion skill 4. That group is backed up by a Kestrel VTOL, and this thing is carrying 2 foot platoons, actually. So just like, this is exactly what I fielded in Mission 1. This is the Medevac Kestrel, so it has that MASH ability, which converts into the IT ability, so it really has an IT6 in totality, and thus can field 2 foot platoons as they are carrier 3 each. And I'm looking to zoom this thing in and drop those platoons in. Again, this is do or die. They're not going to be digging in. They're going to be running around, shooting. I think maybe doing some AM attacks if the opportunity presents itself. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that is the force here for the Atrean Knights. Excited to see these two forces do battle. All right, guys, so there it is, 282 points. This is a big slugfest here in our campaign. It's going to be exciting. 2 big lances facing off, and when you see the map, it's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, there's not a lot of room to hide here. So hopefully we don't lose any notable pilots, but we'll see what happens. So guys, stick around. We're going to go through the battle grid, take a tour of that, see what's going on, and we'll dive right into turn 1.
All units, check in.
Archangel here.
Reaper, standing by.
Vegas here.
This is Tiger Lance, positioned on the bridge, and ready to go. Airborne here, ready to shoot. Castle Lance, form up.
Roger that. I'm ready to kick some ass.
Head 145, 50 kph. Reaper, try to keep up in that thing. Yeah, I get it. I'm slow.
Nothing on scopes yet. Switching over to thermal scanner.
Multiple hostiles inbound.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Remember, the guards are on their heels, so they are going to fight to the bitter end. It's going to get ugly. Stick to your training and keep your eyes on the prize. We take the spaceport. Not only do we knock out the Donegal, but we give ourselves a huge logistics boost before we head off to face these so-called clans. Stay tight. Here we go.
for the third time. These two forces about to clash at a critical spaceport just off the coast here. One of these beautiful reefs. Very scenic if it weren't for the giant war machines coming to turn it into a war zone. But this is basically the way we're going to play this. This is all depth 0 water, so it's not going to affect the movement of the mechs. However, some vehicles may have more difficulty if they're going to be moving through it. However, conveniently there are bridges on two sides, both the deployment edges. That was intentional. And then of course we have this other bridge here. So both forces primed and ready to go to take this critical central objective. If the Atrean Knights can take it from the Donegal Guard, that's it, it's over. The Donegal Guard aren't going to be able to retaliate. But they have selected the Donegal Guard this side. Here they are the defender in this mission, so they have to pick first, they deploy first. That means the Atrean Knights starting on that side of the table. So guys, per usual, we're going to start with movement. Turn 1 coming right up. Alright Wargamers, here we are kicking off Mission 3, Turn 1. The Donegal Guard do need to make the first move. And just a reminder, all of this water here is depth 0. Here's the plan on the Donegal Guard side. The Partisan, the LRM carrier are going to deploy here, move up the gut. I'm going to start with that Savannah Master and just sprint it 20 inches and try to get it in to controlling that central objective as quickly as possible. I won't be able to get there turn 1, but hopefully turn 2. So the mechs, I have this mercenary force, conveniently both with jump jets. That was intentional. So I might move them in on this side here and then move the assaults up on this rock formation and then up the ramp here. So we're going to start by sprinting some of these bigger mechs in. So the Zeus and Bubbles getting into about here and here respectively. And then this Wolverine being able to sprint 8, very useful. We'll get the Wolverine to about here. And then the Grasshopper 6 inches behind it, right about there. On the side of the Atrean Knights, debating on what to move first. Some important things to note though. Each team is grouped into essentially three lances. We've got, each of the battle lances. We have the vehicles on the ground, and then on the Atrean Knights it'll be the Kestrel and the infantry, and on the Donegal Guard it'll be those 2 warriors. And that's how I'll move them, because again I'm doing that lance by lance movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, start with my vehicles here, and I'm going to move them right up the gut here. So this striker, since he moves a full 8 inches, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll move him back a little bit, and then the other 2 vehicles are going to be right behind him. Alright, we've got those Atrean Knight vehicles done, not so bad. Next thing we're going to do here is move this, this contingent of the 7th Donegal Armor Brigade. So what I want to do is, we know it's 24 inches to the center. I'll want to move 14 inches and claim the higher TMM the second round. So I actually don't want to sprint with the Savannah Master this turn. And there's the Savannah Master and the Partisan and the LRM carrier moving in here. I am going to, see these guys are really slow. It's going to take them a long time to get them off this bridge, but it is what it is. I'm debating on which one I want to put out there first. I think what I'm going to do is put the LRM carrier in the front. Now, you know what, I'm going to put the Partisan out front. It's got more armor, so we'll take that route. Even though the LRM carrier does a little bit more damage, I actually think it's taller and can probably see over the Partisan. And remember, our house rules, vehicles do claim partial cover and they do block line of sight. I don't think there's any reason to treat them differently. Infantry do not, but vehicles, I mean, hey, it's a solid piece of steel. Some of them are 80, 90, 100 tons. There's no reason they shouldn't block line of sight. So anyway, let me move these vehicles on and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we are. I'm going to move the Kestrel. I've got 2 infantry platoons embarked. I love this thing. You can move 12 inches. Remember, VTOLs and basically anything that flies, right? They can't sprint. So just moves straight up 12 inches, and it does get +1 to its TMM at all times. So this thing, well, basically is how it works. You know, you have to take a +1 penalty to hit a VTOL, so essentially it's like having a bonus to its TMN. At least that's how I think about it. Anyway, I digress. So this is a level 2. This is considered a level 2 right here. This is like level 1. And so this building here, also a level 1 building on top of level 2. So it would be at level 3. So I'm going to put this VTOL at level 3, which means this building currently would be blocking line of sight to that, to that Kestrel from anything shooting below it. And the plan is just to zip it in. I'll see what I want to do with it next turn. I may be aggressive with it and just try to drop those infantry right there. Remember, I do use that zip line deployment optional rule, which is terrifying and hilarious at the same time. So we may do that, but that is the Kestrel's move. All right, lastly, these warriors, they get a 9-inch move. And I'm going to put one on either side of the bridge here. Just like that, give myself some options. And I'm going to have them come in. We're going to be skimming the water. I'm going to have them coming in at level 2. And that's just because the Atrean Knights have not yet deployed their command lance, so I don't want to give them any easy targets. So we'll have them come in at actually we'll say 3, so I don't have to spend it next turn. All right, so the plan with the Atrean Knights is as follows. I want to move this Orion, who has no extreme range, basically in a straight line. Remember the shortest distance between 2 points. So we're going to move the Orion right there. And she is basically going to try to get in to the fray as quickly as possible. This Orion's packing 8 pips of armor. This thing is a brawler just through and through, and can deal 4 damage with an overheat at short and medium. So pretty good. Want to keep her in one piece and just really get her in to go toe-to-toe with that Grasshopper, which is a very dangerous and tough mech. Meanwhile, this Stalker, I want to put him a little bit further out, and I'll tell you why. So this Stalker here is keeping an eye on that right flank, because we know that the Zeus and the Banshee both need to come up onto that platform. I mean, I guess they could go behind the wall and climb up as they are battle mechs, but assuming they need to come in this lane, next turn I could move up and they should be in extreme range. The Stalker capable of doing 1 point, and a half-decent pilot. Vegas, she's going to be doing the same thing. She gets to move a little bit further here. I think what I'm going to do with her is put her maybe further out here. And I'll tell you why, because remember, my plan with her is that she'll be coming in last behind all the other big assaults. So if she's a little further out and she can get some extreme range shots and then trickle in behind the big guys, I'm good with that. And then Falcon will be just in front of her in his Zeus right here. Again, also looking for those extreme range shots next turn. But guys, everybody's moved. Nobody is in range of firing. The only things that did not sprint, the Savannah Master, all the helicopters, no extreme range shots available. So we're going to be rolling in to turn 2. Score 0-0. Alright guys, it is turn 2. Initiative has been rolled, and the Donegal Guard have won 8-4. So that means the Atrean Knights do need to make the first move. So this Kestrel, obviously very important for trying to get those infantry units in the middle. The Kestrel itself can actually contest as well, so I need to be thoughtful about where I want to put it. I want to save that for later. These guys, obviously, I want to save for later to figure out where that Zeus and Banshee move. Maybe they'll move them last, I don't know. But there is a bit of a chess match going on. Obviously, the Warriors against the Kestrel, these vehicles against that Savannah Master, and these mechs against those mechs. There's really nothing I can do to stop that Savannah Master, barring a lucky shot. So what I am going to do here is move this Striker to about here, and then this Hunter and the Scorpion are also going to move up as well. In retrospect, I really should have put the Scorpion in front of the Hunter so that I could have been sprinting more with the Scorpion to get it in a little bit closer. But I think we're going to just do a standard move on all of these guys. Alright, so there they are, just rumbling forward on the bridge. Everybody doing a standard move so that they can take shots this turn. On the Donegal guard side here, I'm going to start with the warriors. They are my, I think, my least strategically impactful units this turn. So they are at level 3, which means they can hum right over this this barrier here. However, they are just 1 level off the ground, so they will be well obscured from any incoming fire. So I am going to put this one here. Now this one has a pretty nice firing lane to that striker. This one arguably could have some line of sight issues, so I'm just going to move him back 1 and bring him up to level 4, just so he can see over that guard tower and everything else if needed. So that's what we're doing with those guys. So likely that Savannah Master being able to move last is going to be troublesome here. So what do I want to do here? So, 3 inches from the center of this tower, basically conveniently, is right around this ring here on the tile. And guys, if you are wondering where in the world I got this thing, this is actually a Warhammer 40k Forge World piece. So they came out with a whole series of terrain tiles, and I thought this one was really cool. I own a whole bunch of them, but this one is actually really cool because it can sort of be used in that BattleTech scale as like a dropship, landing pad or something along those lines. So thought it would fit nice in this mission. But great stuff you can get over at Forge World if you are a 40k kind of guy. So what do I want to do with this Kestrel? So we're going to move him in here. That's going to get him inside that 12-inch mark. It will prevent some incoming fire. It will get some cover. In fact, I think I'm going to stop him right here in front of this central tower. And remember, he's just at level 3, so he's actually hovering behind the tower at this point. And I'm going to drop, well, let me move him up a little bit forward here. I want to drop both of my infantry units as well. So, I need to do what's called a zip line deployment. And when I do that, I need to roll 2d6. And if I get a 5 or more, these units are okay. So first unit, second unit. Uh-oh. So the second unit takes 1 point of damage. That sucks. But, worse things have happened when you're jumping out of a moving helicopter. Well, see, this is interesting now because I'm going to definitely get the Savannah Master in there, but I can't actually make my 14-inch move because the infantry are blocking it. So I can only make a standard move here with the Savannah Master, but I guess what I'm going to do is stop him right behind the partial cover here and get his full TMM. Meanwhile, these other goobers here, man, they are slow. I think I'm just going to rumble them up with a standard move and maybe take some shots at the infantry and that Kestrel as well. All right, and last but not least, so Archangel is going to continue her sprint, now making it all the way up here to the platform. This tile is, by the way, 24 by 24, so fits nicely on this map. So 12 inches basically to each edge. So she's right up there. We'll need to spend 1 MP to get up. But really next turn should be right in the fray there, if not by turn 4 for sure. So this Stalker, I don't want to meander him too far, but I do believe even with the speed of the Zeus, which is only 6 inches, I still should be able to get some shots across the bow here. So we're going to move that Stalker again straight up. I guess if I was going to walk him, he would get here, but you know what? I am going to sprint him. I don't care. I'd rather get him in the fight next turn. Things are already heating up in the middle. The Zeus and the Rifleman can take care of shooting and exchanging fire here. That Stalker really only gunnery 3, so Falcon will have a much better chance of hitting at gunnery 2. So again, we're sprinting these front 2, walking these back 2. I want to keep Vegas in the back of this conga line anyway, so I think she'll be fine to take some shots. So we'll see what happens. Onto the Donegal guard side. Alright, so I'm not really interested in getting in a firefight down on this end of the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint Bubbles to here. And this Zeus, so Falcon can basically hit right to the edge of this little jetty or whatever it is, this little rock outcropping. So what I can do is I can get this Zeus basically out and around to here, and that should be out of range. It is not. And also Vegas has some range too. So I guess in that regard, Zeus was here. We're just going to move him straight up, and we're going to sprint, and we're going to get the TMM bump from sprinting, and we're going to hope that you know, that's enough to ward off that damage. Again, I really want to move these big Lyran assaults and get them in the center rather than getting stuck in a protracted firefight here out in the middle of the ocean. All right, these mercenaries, Sunburn and Demon, nasty. So I could jump the Wolverine, or I could, I mean, it really does not matter. If I run him, I can get him a little bit closer. So we're just going to do that and get him basically right up here to that. I don't think even if I walked him or jumped him, he would really have any line of sight. This Grasshopper doing the same thing, 6 inches right to that point. So that is it, guys. That is movement. We will be right back with shooting. Turn 2 shooting. Things are already heating up in the middle. So the Atrean Knights, well positioned here to potentially get an early lead. We've got this Hunter and this Striker. The Striker is actually within 12 inches of that Savannah Master. Only needs 10s. So we'll see what we can do there. Maybe we can knock that Savannah Master out. This command lands, we've got Falcon and Vegas shooting down on stealth there out in the water. So we'll see. I don't know. Big things could happen here. So we're going to start out with this Striker. And again, shooting through cover. Remember that VTOL does not block line of sight, but the Savannah Master claiming partial cover from that the scaffolding of the guard tower there at the middle. Now the Striker does do 2 points of damage at medium range, so this is a good thing. It is skill 3, and so again I need 10s. So here we go. Second one. So close, so close. Okay, so moving on to that Hunter. All right, firing from the bridge. That Hunter is actually going to be raising that launcher up and dropping in some indirect fire with the infantry unit spotting. So, the number works out to be very similar. So again, skill 3 plus 4 for the TMM of that Savannah Master. So that's 7. We're at long range, that's 10. And then indirect fire, that's 11. So not too bad. Remember, there's no partial cover here to worry about. Again, I have 2 chances. Can I get something? Remember, 1 point of damage puts that Savannah Master in forced withdrawal. Oh, man. I see those 6s pop, guys. I get excited. We're going to move on to this command lance. Now, Falcon firing down. This is some Zeus on Zeus hate right here. He has an extreme range value of 2 and only needs 8s to hit. So again, skill 2, extreme range. The TMM on the other Zeus is only 2. I'm going for broke here. Here we go. Okay. Now, do I want to luck point that? Here's the thing. I don't think that I do. I just think that that Zeus getting 2 points on it early in the game, it's not going to be as game-changing as, for example, trying to hit that Savannah Master or something on the objective next turn. So here we go. This is Vegas. She has 1 point at extreme range. She needs 9s. Man, so lots of missing on the side of the Atrean Knights. Very close, but just so far away. So that is wrapping up turn 2 shooting here on the side of the Free Worlds League. Moving over to those nefarious Donegal Guard. The one thing I love about Alpha Strike is how easy the math is. So I've got 2 warriors there, and I've got the Savannah Master in the middle. They're all going to be shooting the 1 infantry platoon, which is on your left side there. It is the damaged one. So they're going to try to basically remove all of the armor and put it in forced withdrawal. So the helicopters need 8s. The Savannah Master needs an 8. That's because even though it's higher skill level, so worse gunner basically, it is at short range. So here we go. We're going to just start with the helicopters. That is a miss. There we go. 1 point on that infantry platoon. They've now sustained 2 points of damage in total. And now the Savannah Master. Alright, so 3 points to that infantry platoon. It's still hanging on, but bodies flying. That platoon just selling themselves for the glory here of the Atrean Knights. Not how we wanted it to go. Forgot all about this partisan on the bridge. Now the LRM carrier has questionable line of sight to anything because that partisan is in the way. But the partisan, clear line of sight to that damaged infantry platoon, needs 9s. That's it. That infantry platoon enforced withdrawal. So that is that. So those infantry now scattered, running for cover. This LRM carrier raising up the turret, firing indirectly at that other infantry platoon. Now, I had hoped that the Zeus or the Wolverine would be able to spot, but those two mechs can't see anything. That Kestrel, although the model is visible, if you factor in that it is only one level below here, or above the underlying platform, the dropship blocks it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we have an IF-2 on at extreme range for the LRM carrier. So the target number here, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a 12. So we're going to take, basically chain fire these. 1, that's not going to do it. That is the exact opposite here. So that wraps up shooting for real now. All of the units here on both sides have shot, and I have to say the Donegal Guard coming out strong early, completely just blowing apart one of those infantry platoons. It is now in forced withdrawal, but still, 1 infantry platoon, 1 Savannah Master, 1 Kestrel. No one's scoring anything this turn. On to turn 3. All right, welcome back. It is turn 3. The Atrean Knights won initiative, score of 9-2 on the dice. So the Donegal Guards here, they need to make the first move. And so essentially what I know to be true is that I need to get these warriors within 3 inches. I can't have the Savannah Master the only thing in that contesting sort of zone without any insurance policy. So I need to move those warriors in. And I also need to move these tanks, obviously, forward here to get them a little closer into the fray. The LRM carrier can continue to indirect fire, but still, the closer it gets, once I get it into long range, that's peak damage at 3 points. Medium range is fine as well. So really just want to get them here, so I can get within that medium range to the center zone. So in terms of what I want to start with, so I don't think anything could box the helicopters necessarily out of the center. For example, I don't think there's any way, they could fill up units in this area that would prevent these helicopters from moving in. So in that regard, I'm just going to start with these vehicles. I'm going to move each of these forward 3 inches right to about here, and this Savannah Master, I'm just going to shuffle him over behind this little tool shed or whatever it is, so that he can claim his TMM, but still obviously be well within 3 inches. Alright, so on to the Atrean Knights. Debating on whether or not I want to move the command lance last or these vehicles to optimize my line of sight. These guys can do devastating amounts of damage, but I'm not sure how critical their movement really is this turn, whereas these guys, depending on where I position them, could be night or day. So one thing I know is that these infantry, they're getting potentially banged up here. So I need to move this one platoon an inch back. He is as far as he can move, and basically they're not able to contest, but he still can potentially shoot that Savannah Master this turn. I want to move the Kestrel. Remember this Kestrel also at level 3. I want to move the Kestrel right here. So it'll be behind this building. It will be difficult to see. If that Wolverine does jump up, it'll be hard pressed to put fire on it. And then this last infantry unit, I think what I want to do is just kind of move them up here so they can get maybe some cover. but also, again, put some fire on something this turn. Maybe that Savannah Master. All right, back over to the side of the Donegal Guard here. I don't have too many options with the Zeus and the Banshee. The Wolverine might have some options, but basically what I need to do here is sprint. So the Zeus does need to spend basically a point, as does the Banshee. Unfortunately, actually, she can't get up and over this hump. This is the problem when you have a 3-5 mech. So she's really only going to be able to get to here. And maybe what I want to do is actually put her here, and I can see if I can get some line of sight down and across. Well, I guess line of sight with the Banshee really does not matter, considering I just sprinted with it. But anyway, I'm going to jump this Wolverine. Maybe I can get a shot on something this turn. And this Grasshopper is not going to be able to make it. So essentially I can run the Grasshopper to there with a sprint move. Okay, so this Lance of Vehicles here, this is Demi-Lance if you will, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a standard move. Even if I sprint with this Striker, can sprint 8, it's still not enough to get its base fully within that 3-inch, or I'm sorry, anywhere within 3 inches. It's just outside of the 3-inch mark. So what I'm going to do here is move the Striker right to here, and that gives me a pretty decent bead on that Savannah Master. Meanwhile, I'm going to take the Hunter, and I'm actually going to sort of give it a little bit of a disposition to the right side of this bridge here to make some room for this Scorpion. And what I'm going to do is actually sprint the Scorpion to about here. Alright, so the last thing on the side of the guard are these helicopters, and again, with all that fire bearing down on the Savannah Master, I can't afford not to move these units within the kill box here. So I'm going to move one to here, and I'm going to actually spend a point to move him down to 3 inches, so he will get some cover from that tower. And this guy's still at level 3 over here. I'm going to try to block line of sight from the command lance and get it right to here. This is a mess. This is exactly what you want in a take and hold mission. This is just going to be brutal and bloody. Okay, so did a little pre-measuring, pre-moving. Basically, Archangel can get to here, spends 1 inch to go up, 1 inch to go forward, and then she's going to spend the remaining 4 inches of her sprint move to get up there. Won't be able to shoot this round, but is well positioned to make a walk move and just open up on something next turn. This Stalker, similarly, I'm going to put him right here. Now I might be able to draw some line of sight on that Zeus. However, again, the Stalker's sprinting, so not really mattering here too much. I think I want to get Falcon in the fight. You know, I thought about maybe walking and shooting at some of these copters, but remember, they're actually below this dropship, so this command lance will be it'll be impossible for them to see. I could also move him out this way, maybe see the tippy top of the Banshee, but it's not going to be enough. So we're just going to use that Zeus's speed and sprint him up there, and then Vegas basically can get to, I'll get her, well, you know what, let's move her right here. This way she has a firing lane down there next turn. So we're going to sprint that entire command lance, both command lances, or I'm sorry, the battle lance, both battle lances sitting on 6 points of luck as well. So now we get into shooting. Lots of vehicles, lots of small arms fire. Could go either way. We'll see. Shooting coming right up. Alright, decision 1, that Savannah Master firing on the Kestrel really is the best thing I can do here. Again, if I can deal a couple of points to that Kestrel, it will put it in forced withdrawal. So I need an 11 here from the Savannah Master. Nothing doing. Up next we have Sunburn firing across at this infantry He is at medium range, did jump, is skill 4, no TMM on those infantry, so only needs 9s to hit. I'm going to chain fire these up. Now these warriors are up. I think they're both going to gun down that platoon, see if we can put this one in withdrawal as well. The warriors actually can't put this infantry platoon into forced withdrawal, but they can get some easy shots on it. So this one warrior only needs a 4 to hit. It's at short range, skill 3, no TMM on that platoon. Alright, so it's another point of damage. You can imagine these VTOLs just strafing in, just ripping these little guys to shreds. So this other warrior doing the same thing. Here we go. Here's the deal. I forgot how low this VTOL was. So this is the second one to shoot here. He's actually low enough that the infantry will get a partial cover bonus. So really, and is not at short range, it's just at 4 inches there. So really needs a 5-6 to hit. So a 5 is going to miss. That's good. That's good news for those infantry. So I guess whatever is left, they are now hunkered down in that little tin shed, diving for whatever cover they can find there. So the Wolverine shot, the helicopter shot, the Savannah Master shot. Now we've got these vehicles, these nasty, nasty vehicles. Let's see what they're going to do. They are definitely eyeing up those incoming Atrean Knight vehicles. All right, so this partisan opening up with its auto cannons against that striker. Is it long range? Needs 8s to hit. All right, so that is going to be a miss. Very close, but no cigar. All right, now onto this LRM carrier. The Zeus spotting, calling the target, and it is that Orion. We're going to try to put some hurt on this thing. I have IF2 at extreme range, again, skill 3. So basically, I'm going to need, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that LRM carrier going to need 10s to indirect fire on that Orion at extreme range. Here we go. Shot number 1, shot number 2. Even if that's cracked, it doesn't matter. 6 plus 3 is only a 9, so it's not going to do it. So missiles go sailing into the platform, sending shrapnel and debris everywhere. The Donegal Guard are now done shooting. I don't think I forgot about any units this time, so we are going to move over to the Atrean Knights next. Good news for the Atrean Knights is that they're still in control here. They still have units contesting that Kestrel, dodging incoming fire. 1 infantry platoon still standing firm. Still has 2 points of armor left and just 1 point of structure. The other one in forced withdrawal, but that doesn't prevent it from shooting. Now, if we can land some lucky numbers, we can actually get a control point over here for the Knights this turn. Here's how we do it. This platoon in forced withdrawal does have clear line of sight to the Savannah Master, needs a 10 to hit. The other infantry platoon only needs an 8 to shoot that VTOL straight above it. And basically I have, as in some insurance policies, I have this striker and this hunter that can go after that other warrior. So let's start out with our 1 infantry platoon in withdrawal. Just a handful of guys left, firing their lasers across at that Savannah Master. Let's see if they can get a good shot here. Not ideal, but what can you expect from a broken platoon there? Scattered. But the other platoon still in good shape. They need 8s to hit the warrior above them. So here we go. Oh man, the luck is not falling here. But that's all right. It's only turn 3. We're going to move on to the striker next. So the striker actually has a nice bead to the Savannah Master through all of the various buildings there. And this unit needs basically 9s to hit. So I am going to chain fire here, looking for 1-9 to put the Savannah Master in forced withdrawal. Man, come on. Unbelievable. So, no good. Only the hunter left to shoot. Alright, so the hunter is going to be going for the near warrior here that's hiding behind the dropship. Speaking of dropping things, so I need 9s as well to hit here. Two options, 2 points, 2 chances. Unreal, man. The Knights have yet to deal a point of damage. Meanwhile, these platoons getting absolutely shredded. Moving on to turn 4 movement. All right, guys, turn 4 already. We are struggling here. The Donegal Guard lost initiative again. Atrean Knights rolling a 6, Donegal Guard rolling a 4. Both teams, again, Battle Lance is sitting on 6 points of luck. No real optimal shots for those big units yet, but I think this turn we're going to see the Orion, the Wolverine getting into the fray. What I know is that these warriors absolutely need to stay planted, just shuffled around a little bit in that front area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving the warriors, since again the Donegal Guard do have to move first. So I'm going to take this warrior here, and I'm actually going to keep him at the same level and move him right to there. Now that will block line of sight from most units, well, maybe not anybody, but at least anything like the Hunter and some of these other backfield units. It's the best I can do. And then I'm going to move this one and do these shenanigans where it's kind of hiding behind the guard tower. All these VTOLs just skimming the surface, kicking up dust and debris. What I'm going to do is move the Kestrel and the infantry unit. So this one in withdrawal, obviously having to move back 1 inch. The great thing about these laser platoons is they do have a 12-inch range, so that's going to be great. As this guy withdraws, I'll still be able to take some pot shots here and there. And this other one I'm going to move, probably not going to be able to see it from your angle, but you'll see it in the shooting phase, just behind this little tin shed here, in between the dropship, kind of coming around on that Savannah Master. So we'll see if they can get any shots, but at best it'll give them some cover from the Wolverine, potentially even completely blocking line of sight. We'll have to see. Of course, those VTOL's a different story, although I don't know, they're at level 3, so they may not be able to see it either. That could be really good positioning there. And then as far as this Kestrel goes, I had similar things in mind. I could either move it to this side and block line of sight from the Banshee and the Zeus, or I can keep it around here, potentially even right behind this warrior. That way the Grasshopper and the Wolverine won't really be able to see it. But I think what I am going to do in either case, the best thing to do, rather, I should say, is put it right here, because that Wolverine would have to come all the way around this building, and the Zeus, again, would be hard-pressed. So I think that's what we're going to do here with the Kestrel. The Battle Lance is going to be critical here for, I think, both sides. So we're going to move those last, at least these guys we're going to move last. I'm going to just move these vehicles. The Savannah Master does need to move here at least a full inch. I thought about moving him in base to base with this infantry, but then he could just get nuked by pretty much everything. So I'm going to move him to here, and again, that'll give him his TMM. I just don't think this guy can really claim. There's so little room to move around. I could zip him around back in here, but I'm not really sure what that would do for me, because again, these mechs have line of sight right through this corridor. So at least here, the mechs aren't going to really be able to shoot him. And then this Partisan, I actually think I want to keep the LRM carrier still. Don't get mad at me. But I just don't really think getting it at point blank is beneficial at this point. But I just want to measure, as long as I'm within long range of the majority of units, which I am, I think I'm going to leave this LRM carrier still and take that bonus to hit. And also it'll give it some distance between the Partisan so it can see over and around it. Alright, so I know exactly what I want to do here with this striker. I'm going to move it basically right here, so it is within 3 inches of that Savannah Master, and within short range of those choppers as well, so it'll give me some options. And of course, with the turret mounted weapon authentically not glued in place so that I can rotate it, I could basically hit a whole variety of things if I so desire. Of course, everything I think right now, including, yeah, the Warrior's in its front arc anyway, so no worries there. This Hunter, So similarly to the LRM carrier, thinking about keeping this guy planted, because here's the deal. If I can put fire on this thing, right, I'm within 12 inches now. So if I can put fire on it, yeah, definitely within 12, and get that bonus to hit, that could be huge. So we're going to keep him still. And then this Scorpion, I guess at this point it'd be silly to sprint it, because in 2 turns I could be in that zone there, the control zone. So I'm just going to move him 4 inches here, and that will allow him to take some shots on, you know, whatever tends to present itself this turn. All right, here we go. Battle Lance. Things are happening. Now, if I don't sprint Bubbles, she can only get 2 inches. So if I get her to there, you know, we're looking at extreme range, maybe long range shots with cover. So I think I am just going to sprint her. Again, she's going to kind of get 2, 4, so she'll get right to about here. And that is a sprint move. And the Zeus, similarly, I'm just going to sprint him right up the ramp to about here. And the crappy part of you know, having to move first is, you know, you can really open yourself up to some vicious counterattacks. So I need to be smart about where I position this Wolverine. You know, there's enough firepower in that box that, you know, I'm afraid if I don't put the Wolverine in the center, there is a chance that the Atrean Knights could come away with a command point. Conversely, if I move the Wolverine in there, I have to sprint. And I could get him right behind this, you know, this little control tower there. He won't be able to shoot, but it will guarantee that, you know, no one will get a control point at the very least. So I may do that and just keep that Wolverine, again, you know, rely on his high TMM, because these little vehicles, the, you know, the Warrior, the Savannah Master, I'm on borrowed time. The Atrean Knights having missed so many shots. So again, three well-placed shots, and they're toast. And so, again, you know, the Striker's at short range, the Scorpion's rumbling in, the Hunter's standing still. I have a lot of firepower on this side of the table with the Partisan and the LRM carrier, so I feel good about that. Now this Grasshopper, I'm going to jump him, because why not? So he gets to go right about here, and that way he can take some, maybe, I don't know if he can see anything, maybe he can take a shot at one of this infantry platoon. We'll have to see. Alright, so just assessing here, I've got the Striker, an infantry platoon, the Kestrel, all inside the control zone there. The only things that can really shoot, the Grasshopper, 2 choppers, well I guess they have the Partisan, but I'm not sure that can see the infantry. The LRM carrier could potentially indirect fire. I think what I'm going to do is, you know, even if I sprint her, she's not going to get in. So I feel like what I want to do is walk her out to about here. Now I want to be careful because I want to make sure I can get in next turn, right? Actually, I may not be able to even do that. So what I'm going to do is actually just straight line move her to here. That way it will basically guarantee that I can get in next round. You know, important to be thinking, I think, a turn ahead here. Now, the Stalker, so here's the thing with the Stalker. The damage profile is 3, 4, 2, 1, meaning, you know, short, medium, long, extreme. So if I get within medium, my damage goes up by 2, and I can overheat 3. At this point, I see no reason not to sprint this guy and get him to here, because then, next round, you know, it's like, hello, Wolverine, you know, and you can drop 7 points of damage on him, which is awful, awful and terrifying. Now, Falcon, interestingly, I wish the Zeus had jump jets, because then I could move him back and jump him over, but, so if I get my Zeus to here with a walk move, I can see the Zeus, I can make magic happen here. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then Vegas, similarly, remember also in our rules, and this goes for Classic too, friendly units also block line of sight. So if she goes there, she's not really seeing anything. However, she can put fire on potentially on that helicopter, potentially on that Wolverine as well. But you know what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to sprint her, because taking those high TMM shots, So that's what we're going to do with this command lance. I've got Archangel and Falcon walking. I've got Reaper and Vegas sprinting, getting ready to utilize that overheat hopefully next round. So guys, turn 4 shooting. The bloodbath. It's about to commence. Stay tuned, it's coming right up. Kicking it off with the LRM carrier. Man, I was down at model's eye view. What a mess. This grasshopper can't actually see a damn thing. So much line of sight blocking by terrain in this, use the word again, the crucible, as I love to call it. It's just the maelstrom of death in the middle there. Love the terrain on this map. So anyway, LRM carrier. He's got 3 shots against that striker tank. He's got very clear line of sight, no more than like maybe 10% of the model is covered. So that is, there's no partial cover for that, and he is stationary. So really only needs a 7 to hit, which is very good here. All right, so. Wow, all right, so even though he nails the 2 on the pilot die, he gets 555s. That is 3 points of damage. I believe that striker is already stripped of armor. Man, that is just the lethality of that unit. So moving on now to the partisan. All right, so now this partisan also needs 7s. He's not stationary, but he is actually within medium range. 1 point of damage puts this striker in forced withdrawal. Oh no, AC sail wide. The striker, the wheeled vehicle drifting through the courtyard there apparently. So the partisan can't land anything. So now it's up to these choppers and that Savannah Master. Savannah Master is up. I should note that I rolled actually for the motive hit on the striker. I rolled a 9, so that is basically going to be -1 to the TMM and -1 to the movement on that striker. This thing's down to 2 points of structure. Anything will do it. Savannah Master needs 7s. There it is. Alright, so the striker in forced withdrawal. No motive damage, but that's a huge blow for the Atrean Knights. That vehicle asset doing a lot of damage so far. Alright, so we have 2 choppers here. The one along the green warehouse is going to fire at the striker. Needs 6s. Only has 1 point left. It's going to try to put it out of its misery. Ouch. A vicious blow. Critical hit. You can see what that is. An 8 on the vehicle chart. It's actually no critical hit. So for purposes of salvage, we'll mark that up. But that striker valiantly, heroically charging into the middle, gun down in his prime. Alright, this other warrior, machine guns blazing, firing through the scaffolding of that guard tower at the Kestrel. So it's going to need 10s. And gets it. So 1 point to that Kestrel. That is an excellent shot. I would hate to be inside that guard tower right now. But it's 1 point on the Kestrel. Striker destroyed. I tell you, the luck has not thus far fallen on the side of the Atrean Knights when it comes to shooting. But what goes around comes around, guys. We'll see what happens. They're coming up next. Last salvo from that striker. He's going to go for that Savannah Master. Needs 8, has 2 opportunities. Oh, man. Disappointing. Very disappointing. So the striker goes up in smoke with a whimper. Moving on to the rest of the Atrean Knights. So this infantry unit can actually see through the little opening in the shed. They need 10s to hit, though. Not an easy number. Here we go. No luck. No luck at all. Alright, so moving on now, this Scorpion going to try to take a shot on that Savannah Master. I mean, can I hit one of these fast-moving vehicles? It's absurd how difficult they are to hit. I'm going to need 10s to drill this thing. Well, that is a down dice. Reroll that. Almost. Alright, no good there. Having a radical shift here in strategy. I'm tired of wasting missiles at these fast-moving targets. Now that the big mechs are getting in, those little 1 damage things can plink away all day. I'm not going to care. It's just like fleas on the back of the Rhino here. So instead, the Orion and the Hunter are both going to target that Wolverine. I need 7s on both accounts to hit here. The Hunter and the Orion both at medium range. There is no cover in play here. The Orion is at an angle at which only about 20% of the Wolverine is covered. So we're going to start out with this Hunter. I need 7s. Here we go. Come on. Unbelievable. The Orion needs 7s here. Alright, so there's my big break. I really wanted to melt all the armor off that Wolverine. Unfortunately, it wasn't happening, but I'll take the 3 points. Alright, so I have this retreating platoon to shoot with as well. I can either go for that damn Savannah Master, and I would need 10s, or I can hit the Wolverine, I would need 9s. Hitting the Wolverine, I mean, maybe next turn it will make a difference. You know, because I could get internal a little bit easier. Hitting that Savannah Master obviously puts it in withdrawal, which is great. 1 less unit to worry about in the center. I'm not sure that the Zeus or I mean, really, this is what they're working with, right? The Donegal Guard for at least 2 turns. Meanwhile, the Knights are going to get a whole bunch into that center next round. So I'm thinking, even though it's a higher number and it's a Hail Mary, I'm going to go for the Savannah Master. So I need a 10. Ah, God, either way, I would have missed. All right, well, the only one left to shoot here is Falcon. All right, so some exciting news. So I realized I'm in medium range of the enemy Zeus, and I can actually draw line of sight. So that Zeus will have partial cover. The Banshee's at long range, so it turns out that the target number would be 7 either way, but at medium range I do an extra point of damage. I get 4 points here. So I'm looking for 7s. I'm sitting on 6 points of luck here, so I'm going to group fire. See what I can do. Well, actually, that's not bad. It's 3 points. I'm not going to spend a luck point for that. It looked awful at first, but actually not too bad. So 3 points on that Zeus. Just going to start chipping the paint. But man, some real missed opportunities here. The Striker destroyed. Another infantry platoon, again, in withdrawal. Damage to the Kestrel, so that Kestrel again stripped any damage that Kestrel puts that in withdrawal. The Wolverine took a shot, the Zeus took a shot. I think we need to start focusing on those bigger targets. You know, wasting all these long-range shots on these fast-moving small vehicles just never seems like a good idea, but I always bait myself in doing it. So that's that. But this LRM carrier, this Partisan, still shelling that central courtyard. We're going to have to get some fire on those next turn. And from the Donegal side, we need to move in quick. I got to get this Zeus, got to get this Grasshopper in, because that Wolverine is going to just get decimated if it can't get support quick. But guys, we're moving into turn 5. Score is still 0-0. Stakes are high. Donegal Guard lose again. That is unfortunate, because when you are in a close-range brawl, initiative is absolutely critical, as you guys all know. So I need to make some hard decisions here. The first thing I'm going to do is move these helicopters. They're basically my pawns in this game of chess. I know they need to stay in that central circle, so I'm just going to kind of rotate them around. I think I'm going to move one across to here, hopefully blocking some line of sight, hovering over the destroyed corpse of, of the Striker. And I'm going to take this other one and move him behind this guard tower. So I'm basically just going to keep moving these things around. Okay, so I'm going to move the vehicles next. I'm going to save the Kestrel and infantry for later, because I do want to try to keep them alive. So what we're going to do is we are going to keep this Hunter stationary. And then I'm going to move the Scorpion up here. And I did remove the smoldering remains of the Striker tank off the board because I'm going to move, just rumble the Scorpion, trample the dead, as it were. So we are just moving him right up into the mix here. Again, just get him in it. Maybe the Scorpion will hit something this game. I mean, for the love of God, he is basically just, there's enemies at the end of his barrel, so hopefully he can shoot something. But that is it, just moving those 2 vehicles as that poor Striker and no longer in the land of the living. Alright, saving this battle lance for last, I am going to move this partisan up and keep the LRM carrier still. So the partisan will get roughly to about here. This Savannah Master, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to move him in base to base with the infantry, so that the infantry can't shoot him, but he can still move far enough away. Now, I guess the infantry haven't moved yet, but I think that's the best I can do. One interesting note here, I just went to the rule book about stacking. So stacking is the rule where you can move through occupied spaces as long as it's friendly, or it's an enemy and you're at a different elevation. So you could jump over an enemy, you could run underneath an enemy VTOL, but you can't end your move underneath a friendly VTOL. So for example, if my Kestrel was at like level 7 and I wanted to park my mech right underneath it, you cannot do that. So I wasn't sure. I know in Classic you couldn't. I wasn't sure about Alpha Strike, so good to know. But what I want to do is I want to move this Kestrel here. That's going to create an open lane for this Orion to move in. And I do need to move this infantry base back 1 inch, so I'm going to move it to here. And then the other infantry base, I'm actually going to keep it stationary, because if the Savannah Master can't shoot me, I can't shoot it, but I can shoot that VTOL. So that is what I'm going to do with that infantry base, and if I can put a point of damage on it, all the better. Alright, so this is where it's really going to matter. This Zeus can get just beyond here, and even if I didn't have to spend move to get over this obstacle here, I still couldn't get in because the Savannah Master is blocking, and we just conveniently had that talk about stacking. In fact, what I'm going to do is walk the Zeus. I'm not even going to run it. So basically it would get to about here, and that gives it a nice clear line of sight. I'm going to move the Wolverine. Alright, I did some trigonometry. What I decided is the best thing for me to do is do a walk move with her right about to here. So that'll give her some line of sight through the Zeus and everything else. I mean, I imagine the Orion, the Stalker, some of those mechs are going to be coming around that corner. So, maybe she'll be able to get some shots. We'll see. Here we are back on the side of the Atrean Knights with the Command Lance, aka Battle Lance. I know I keep calling it. It's Command Lance in the fluff, guys, so cut me some slack here. So the Wolverine wisely did not run out into the middle like a knucklehead. So I'm debating on whether I want to do that with the Orion. If I move her to here, that Wolverine and the Grasshopper would be hard-pressed to shoot her. She might block line of sight. This guy may not be able to shoot. I guess you could shoot up at the... Well, you could shoot across to this helicopter. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move her to here. Falcon is going to move to here. This will give him line of sight to that enemy Wolverine. So this way he can just blow him up with some PPC action. So I believe, yeah, definitely medium range. So it should be an easy kill, or at least an easy internal shot. I plan on putting some other fire on that Wolverine as well. Try to take that thing out of the middle. So we're going to move the Stalker to here. I think he's going to be able to see that Zeus as well. And then Vegas is going to move to here. And she, keep her back a little bit. She'll have clear line of sight to the Wolverine. She can try to fire across at that Grasshopper, maybe even try to ping one of those warriors. So she's got some options. I like options. Guys, that is movement. Things are getting heated. It's turn 5. I mean, things are going to die this turn. So we'll see. I mean, the Atrean Knights had some really ugly luck early in the game. I think tactically that was on me, shooting at the wrong things. I'm not sure I really had anything else to shoot, though. Good force design, I think, on the Donegal guard side, but let's see. Let's see if it pays off. Turn 5 shooting. It's coming up right now. Bubble's getting very frustrated here. She has line of sight to nothing except that Hunter in the backfield. just blocked on about every angle. So the good news is that Hunter didn't move, so it might be easy prey. She has 2 points of damage at long range. She is skill 2. She's only going to need 5s to hit. Very easy. Here we go. I saw that 3 turn up and I thought maybe I shouldn't say easy, but easy enough. And let's not forget the motive hit, as I tend to do. An 8, that is a tracked vehicle, so no motive hit. But again, 2 points of damage. It's going to leave a mark. The Zeus stealth firing, an Archangel in her Orion. 4 points of damage at medium range, needs 6s. Look at this. However, by the rules, there is only 1 critical hit, but still that is nasty. Through armor critical. Is this going to be vengeance for Scrapper?
Critical hit. Weapon destroyed.
It's a weapon hit. It's going to be big. So that Orion already feeling the pain, down a point of damage and 4 points of armor. Demon in the Grasshopper. Only needs 6s to hit Reaper in the Stalker. Youch. 4 points of damage. This Grasshopper is nasty. Does not get a full house. So 3 points of damage onto that Stalker. It's a good opening salvo. Now, we've also got Sunburn sighting down the Stalker, coming around, lumbering, dare I say, around the corner. Now, he is also at medium range. However, he is a skill 4 pilot, so needs 7s and 2 points of damage here. Here we go. Snags them both. So that's going to be 5 points of damage in total to that Stalker. The armor is still holding. However, all of the Donegal heavy units have shot onto the choppers and that Savannah Master. And let's not forget these tanks on the bridge. Going hard on this Orion. The Partisan needs 6s at medium range. Here we go. Another through armor critical and 2 points of damage.
I'm taking heavy fire.
That is going to be nothing. No critical hit, but 2 more points of damage. The LRM carrier. Clear line of sight down to the Orion. 3 points of damage. Needs 6s. Here we go. What a whiff. Oh no, only 1 point on that Orion. That's not even internal. The Orion, that beast with 14 tons of armor holding firm there, just getting absolutely nuked by all the big guns. Alright, so this near warrior, gonna fire at Archangel, only needs a 6. Unreal. Misses. No luck there. The other warrior is gonna fire at the Orion, needs a 7 though. There it is. Alright, so I say there it is, but that's just the last point of armor. It's not even internal, nor is it a critical hit. So this Orion is still in the middle. Basically the entirety of the Donegal Guard shot at it, save for that Savannah Master, who at this juncture has line of sight to maybe the Stalker. I need to check. Alright, so the Savannah Master can see, however, due to the elevation of the Savannah Master and that giant wing of the dropship, the entire lower half of the Stalker is covered. So that'll give it a partial cover bonus. Savannah Master needs 8s to hit here. Gets it. Alright, so 1 more point to the Stalker. Atrean Knights are up next. Alright, Archangel's up. She's looking at that Zeus. So she has an overheat value of 1. Again, this is a customized variant of the Orion. This follows the normal construction rules for classic BattleTech. So it is a legal design, but she only needs 5s to hit. Again, she's an elite pilot, and that Zeus only has a TMM of 1 and they're at medium range. So going for broke, and I do have 6 luck points to use as well here. That was an ugly roll, but it is a full house.
Boom.
So what I'm trying to figure out, guys, is if I need to be smart and try to clear this center for a point, I would need to put 2 choppers into withdrawal. The Savannah Master would have to get hit somehow, presumably from the Stalker, and I would need to destroy that Wolverine. I think it needs to take, at this point, 2 armor and maybe 2 internal pips, so dealing 4 to it. So what we know here is that Falcon really can only see the Wolverine in terms of viable and valuable targets. So he is going to shoot the Wolverine, and he needs just 6s here. So this is a medium range shot. It is 4 points of damage. Here we go.
Looks like you signed the wrong contract, buddy.
Alright, so that did it. That Wolverine is in forced withdrawal and a critical hit, as that is an internal shot. A 10. So that is going to be a fire control hit. That's huge. +2 to hit. It's going to keep other things alive next turn. So moving on, need to think about who is going to shoot next here. Alright, this infantry platoon in base to base with the Savannah Master, but able to shoot that warrior who's just hovering above them, just blasting machine gun rounds, kicking up dirt and debris. So they're going to just try to nuke this thing. They need a 7 because they were stationary. So here we go. Unbelievable. Well, too much dust and debris, I guess, getting kicked up. This infantry unit really not delivering this game. They were so valuable in the first one, but man, not doing much. So this other infantry platoon here, going to fire at the same Kestrel. Is going to need a much higher number, though. Needs 9s, actually, to hit here. That's what I needed on the last roll. Alright, well this plan is falling apart here rapidly. We're going to use this Scorpion to shoot at the same Kestrel. I'm sorry, I'm calling it a Kestrel, the warrior. This Scorpion is going to need 8s. Guys, the Atrean Knights are mech pilots and mech pilots alone. I can't get anything out of these units here in the middle. I got to think about now what I want to do with the rest of these guns. I was hoping, you know, if I could put a couple of points on these little guys, I could get them in withdrawal. The Scorpion obviously already in withdrawal, then I could control the center. Now I don't know what to do, so need to think about it. This Hunter is going to be taking a shot at this warrior here, the one that everybody has been missing. He's got clear line of sight to it, medium range, 2 points of damage. He's going to chain fire these. I need just 1-8 to put this thing into withdrawal. Come on. There, finally. All right, so this warrior just taking gobs of shots. These little fast units kill me, guys. But there it is. The Hunter finally lands an LRM shot. And that warrior now in forced withdrawal. So that means the Donegal Guard only have 2 units in the middle here that are able to contest. They have that warrior there and the Savannah Master there. And I've got Vegas and I've got this Stalker Reaper ready to go. Vegas is up. So she has clear line of sight to the other warrior on the far side of that guard tower. It's not easy though. She needs 9s to hit, does 2 points of damage. She's at medium range. Here we go. I need at least 1 9. And don't forget, I do have Lucky. Alright, so I'm going to spend a point of luck on her. Here we go.
You must be kidding me.
I want to curse, but you two would be very upset with me. So, unreal. I need to think about what I want to do with this Stalker. The Stalker has 4 dice. I could split it 2 and 2. It's not going to be easy, though. Alright, here we go. So this Stalker is going to be overheating for 2 points. I need to get the objective point, guys. Essentially here, I'm going to be throwing 3 dice at the Savannah Master and 3 dice at the Warrior. I need just 110 on each of them. So starting with the Warrior. Oh my lord, it's a miracle. So 1 point on that warrior. Moving on to the Savannah Master. If the, I'm checking twice here, that is all I need is just 110 on this little Savannah Master. And the Stalker, Reaper, saves the day here. So, here we go. Unreal. I'm going to spend a point of luck, guys. There it is. The luck pays off. Can you believe it? So Reaper, missiles, lasers, SRMs, LRMs, everything just blasting forth from this mech, hitting the Savannah Master and the Warrior in the barrage, putting a point on each. They're both now going to be in forced withdrawal. That means only the Atrean Knights are holding that center. Remember that Wolverine blasted by Falcon. Now I do need to do motive hits for all of these units. So we're going to start with the Savannah Master. Alright, so that is a 9. Actually, I'm sorry, that's an 8, so that is nothing. We're going to do the Warrior behind the guard tower. That's a 10. So that is going to reduce his speed and TMM by 1. And then the last Warrior, the one over by the dropship, that's just a 9. So also -1, -1. So not too bad. Those Warriors starting to get banged up, but already in forced withdrawal. And guys, remember, at the end of this turn, the Atrean Knights now scoring 1 objective point. That could be huge. Turn 6 coming right up. Alright guys, here we are, turn 6 already. The Donegal Guard pulled out initiative, score of 6-4. That means the Knights need to make the first move. So we're going to move with the Scorpion and the Hunter light support tank. Now, because all those dumb little mechs, little units have been forced into withdrawal, I don't feel the need to keep this Hunter still. Because I think I can hit some of these big slow mechs without a problem. So we're going to move the Hunter up the road here. That way if I need to sprint it into the middle or something along those lines later in the game, I can. And the Scorpion, I'm just going to make a very simple move here. And I'm actually going to block the Wolverine from advancing. Well, actually it has to withdraw this way. So I'm going to try to get into its path and maybe force it into a weird spot so it's out of the fight. So I'll see what I can do there. Alright, there it is, some rules cheese, but such is life. You know, the forced withdrawal rules stating you have to move closer to your table edge. So really, that Wolverine is going to either have to take the long way around here or use its jump jets to get this way, or maybe even sprint back around here. Either way, with the fire control hit and jumping, or with having to move all the way around the back, it's going to be, I think, hard-pressed to stay in the fight and be useful, which is exactly what I was looking to do here. Now, in terms of the Donegal vehicles, well, I'm going to start with these helicopters and just do my my usual. I'm going to just juxtapose their position further back from where they were. So we're going to move, we're going to go like that. So this one's going to move here, this one's going to move basically there. Alright, all marked up, and also they have that motive hit going on, so none of them, they didn't move more than 9 inches, they moved about, the one moved about 6. The other one only moved 1, so essentially they have a TMM of 3 now, which should make them much easier to hit if I so desire. Now the Atrean Knights are up. The question is, do I want to move this this Kestrel and these infantry units, or the mechs? And I think the clear answer here is the Kestrel and these infantry units. So this Kestrel, it is a bit of do or die. All right, so moving the Kestrel to here. Basically what that does is that's going to block off that grasshopper from getting in. Well, this infantry unit, I need to move them back as far as they can go. And then this other infantry unit, I'm going to move them. 1 inch is such a small distance. But actually, you know what, I'm going to keep them stationary. Not a lot of room here. I do need to move this Savannah Master somewhere. I guess I can zoom it back a little bit behind these infantry. In fact, maybe I'll get it back and base to base with them on the other side. That seems reasonable. The Partisan, I need to steam forward with this guy, so he's going to move up right behind these choppers, and the LRM carrier is just going to stay put. I think was very effective last round. All right, quick point of note: the Savannah Master was in withdrawal. I had a chance to, I could either move it back 1 inch and then it'd be blocking this Zeus from getting in to the center. So I just zipped it out and back to here. It's really out of the fight. I think next round I'm just going to try to sprint it off the board, at least to, keep it alive in case we do go to game 4 here, which, you know, it could happen. So that's what's happening with the Savannah Master. All right, so lots of heat over here. Archangel sitting on 1 point, but again, she's an elite pilot. I kind of want to move her right behind the guard tower, try to claim some partial cover. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a little bait and switch here. We're going to move Falcon to about here. I'm going to keep his legs behind the dropship, use that sort of as cover. The Grasshopper may be able to see him if he lands up here. Falcon could blast him, or he can hit that Zeus when it moves in. Either way, I feel like that's a good position. So we're going to move this Stalker to here, and I am not going to shoot with it. I'm going to just let it cool off this round. And then what we'll do with Vegas is, if I cut her across, I don't want to block the Hunter, which I'd be doing. And I don't want to get her too close, because if she takes like 4 or 5 damage, she's done for. So maybe what I'll do is I'll move her right to about here. So that is, that's that. So this, again, this Stalker gonna basically bleed off the heat. Archangel going in full bore here. Falcon backing her up. Donegal Guard are up next, guys. Okay, guys, so we did the math, and I was able to move the Wolverine to here. It was a lot of back and forth and a lot of measuring, so I didn't show it live, but basically there is enough space here for him to make a full 1-inch move without touching the Scorpion. Lots of, like I said, lots of trigonometry. So basically, he gets his TMM. He is, again, still sitting on that fire control hit. So that's a decent move. Keeps the Wolverine in the fight. He is looking, staring down the back armor of that Scorpion. Maybe we'll just knock that thing out, or at least try to. The Zeus has no other choice. Has to get in here in this center ring of doom. And Bubbles is going to be backing him up as best as she can. It's not really much here. So we're just going to move her to there. And then this Grasshopper, I think my only move to get him in is in fact jumping on top of that building next to the Wolverine, and then maybe putting a killing blow, or at least enough fire on that Orion to make it withdraw. But it sucks I have to make the jump move, but that Zeus is so close to being pushed into withdrawal. I need that Grasshopper in there. So forcing some tough moves here on the side of the Donegal Guard, but guys, that's where that Grasshopper is going, and I will be right back, and we'll get into shooting. What a mess. There's the Grasshopper perched on top of a plume of flame, ready to descend on that Orion. But the Atrean Knights, again, they lost initiative, so I do need to start shooting with them. I got my dice primed. This Orion overheating again, firing on that Zeus, even with the heat penalty. She is at short range, elite pilot. She only needs 2s. I'm sorry, 5s. It'd be amazing. Only needs 5s. So because of the weapon hit, though, she's only doing 3 damage. But if I land it all, that is enough to put this Zeus into withdrawal. Here we go. Is it. So that Zeus in forced withdrawal, the Orion hanging tough, Archangel proving her elite status here. Let's not forget that Zeus, it's a critical hit courtesy of Archangel. What will it be?
Critical hit. Particle
8.
cannon destroyed.
So that is going to be a weapon hit. So eye for an eye, that Zeus gets knocked down, and that's big because that Zeus has some serious damage here at medium and short range. But that said, I have been hatching a nefarious plan on how to take that Grasshopper out. It involves the Zeus, it involves the Rifleman, and it involves that Hunter. So really, this plan is hinged on this Hunter, because this Hunter has no luck. And needs 7s to hit that Grasshopper. So here we go. Can we do it? Oh man, only 1 point of damage on the Grasshopper. Alright, well, it's still not impossible because I have this Scorpion tucked down in here. It does have a turret. It can turn, aim up, and fire right at the underside of that Grasshopper and the unmentionables there. So this Scorpion is at basically point-blank range, so basically still needs a 7 somehow because, again, it's skill 4. So here we go. This is what's going to happen, guys. So there is no rule to say that you can't overheat beyond, the maximum 4 points on the scale. So basically, I'm at 2 points of heat. I'm going to overheat 3. I'm going for broke. The mech will shut down and will be out of commission next turn, but he's in a nice spot where he can just stay shut down. And if I can really put some pain on this grasshopper, then that stalker will reboot in turn 8 and basically be ready to move in fresh and ready to go. So I need 9s. Don't forget, I've got luck all over the place on this lance. I still have 4 points of luck. So here we go. Well, that's ugly. I didn't land a single one there. So we're going to spend a point of luck. And, group firing on a 9 is a little ballsy, but, rolling a million times is not fun. And also, with the luck, it seems conducive to do so. All right, here we go.
Come on, get focused.
Just what a colossal waste. Just one of those nights. So, I was hoping even just for a couple points of damage. 7 dice, not a thing. Unbelievable. So this infantry unit is, it's going to ping the Zeus. Basically, needs 4s. Alright, gets a hit. Zeus is down to 2 pips. Critical hit. Nothing. Alright, so I'm going to try to finish off this Zeus with Vegas. She needs 6s. Is it sad that I feel like I'm going to miss? She's been pretty good for me, though, so... Alright, so Old Reliable comes through. That Zeus goes up in smoke. We'll roll for the critical hit.
Enemy target destroyed.
Great shot.
I guess it's good in this case, but that Zeus is destroyed. So we have Falcon left to shoot with. Got to figure out what the heck I want to do with him. I'm not even sure. All right, so Falcon's going to go for the grasshopper. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do anything to it. I thought about trying to kill the Wolverine, but it's got a fire control hit. Only does 2 points of damage at most. That grasshopper is just lethal. I cannot believe the hunter, the scorpion. Nothing could land a hit on that guy. The hunter did a point to it. That's all I got. All right, so the Zeus coming up next needs 6s while I bitch and moan. There we go. Falcon and Vegas coming through this turn. So that's 4 points on the grasshopper. Still not anywhere near the internal structure yet, but it's a good start into next turn. So the Knights unable to wrench the central area here free of the grip of the Commonwealth. But Donegal Guard, they got a lot of guns to bring to bear. So right now, we're just going to sit back and see and hope. And we're going to kick it off with this Zeus. Going for the Orion. Needs 6s. Alright. 2 points of damage. That is going to be an internal shot on the Orion. She only had 1 pip of armor remaining. Here we go. That is an 8. So an 8 is going to be a weapon hit. Another weapon hit. So this Orion just getting gutted out. Down to 1 point of damage, able to deal 1 point of damage, I should say. Alright, this Wolverine needs 8s to hit the Orion. It's courtesy of that 4 skill number and also that fire control hit. So 2 more points will not put the Orion into forced withdrawal, I don't think, but it will generate a critical hit either way. So looking for 8s. Here we go. Of course, we would need to hit first. Now, we do have luck, so we're going to use that now. All right. I don't know, guys. I stink at rolling tonight. I'm glad Kevin's not here. Otherwise, I would not be doing well. So we got just 1s all over the place. I feel like earlier there were just 12s everywhere, and now it's just 1s. So we got to think about who we're going to move into next. Again, you have these very intricate plans that rely on, mechs doing a certain amount of damage that seems all but guaranteed with the luck. But when it falls apart hard. All right, so the difficulty in the decision here is that the grasshopper only does 3 points of damage at short range versus 4 at medium. But I have to shoot that Orion, so here we go. I need 7s. Look at that. Speaking of 12s, that's going to be 2 critical hits, so 3 points of damage to that poor Orion. That is actually going to put it into force withdrawal. And then we have 2 critical hit chances. So the first one, no critical hit. The second one,
I've lost all weapons.
so this Orion dealing 0 points of damage right now, approximately. And so that's a big win. That's a big win for those mercenaries there supporting the Donegal Guard. All right, this partisan on the road targeting the Zeus. Zeus does have partial cover. I only need 7s to hit. Not too bad. Here we go. It's only 1 point of damage. This LRM carrier being spotted for by this warrior down on the Zeus. LRM sailing. It is at long range. Even with the spotting penalty, still only needs 7s, courtesy of unbelievable. Falcon is the master of LRM dodging. Only 1 more point of damage here. All right, Bubbles is going to be working on Falcon here. She does 4 points of damage. Only needs 5s. Oh my god. I'm going to spend a luck point. Here we go. Much better. So that's 4 points of damage. That is definitely worth the luck. And so Falcon starting to feel the heat here, down to just 2 points of armor. All right, and lastly, this withdrawing chopper firing through the gantry there. He is going to go for the Orion. Unbelievable. All right, so Archangel living to fight another day here, although in withdrawal. Let's survey the battlefield. What do we have, guys? Well, we've got it's destroyed Zeus, Wolverine in withdrawal, 2 choppers in withdrawal, Savannah Master in withdrawal. We have a grasshopper that has 2 pips of armor left and a fresh Banshee. And then on the side of the Atrean Knights here, the Orion in withdrawal and a infantry unit in withdrawal. The Striker destroyed. We've got 3 mechs here. That Stalker is going to be shut down in turn 7. That was just heartbreaking. And remember that Orion's essentially out of the fight. 0 points of damage there. We've got a lot going on. It could go either way. The score is still 1-0 for the Atrean Knights. Turn 7 coming right up. All right, guys. Turn 7 taking hold. It's a bloody one. So the Atrean Knights losing initiative again. It hurts me, but I'm sure the Donegal fans are celebrating. It was a close one. It was a 7-8 on the roll. So the Atrean Knights need to make the first move, and I'm thinking that I could take advantage of this. So similarly to the way that I blocked the grasshopper out of the fight, or at least tried to, and I've sort of forced it to make an unfavorable move with the jump jets, although it didn't really make a difference. I'm going to move the infantry back here, but what I want to do is move the Kestrel over here. So I'm going to start back here, and I'm just going to move these guys back a little bit because they're closest to me. And they don't get any TMM because they are but lowly infantrymen. And this Kestrel. So I'm going to move the Kestrel here. All right, and there it is. So a bit of ridiculousness, but the Kestrel and the infantry will actually block the Banshee from getting into the zone unless the Banshee decides to, or something decides to shoot them out of the sky or off the ground. The other infantry unit that is here behind this dropship is remaining stationary. Again, I should have dug in with them last turn, but maybe they'll be able to take some shots on the choppers or something along those lines. We'll see. So that's the first move here on the side of the Atrean Knights. All right, so I'm going to move these choppers. I want to clear a lane for the partisan to get in. I don't want to be in its way. So what I'm going to do is actually, I think I need to take this warrior and move it here. And then I'm going to take this warrior and just slide it back to here. And I want to make room in that central objective area for other units that can actually take it and hold it. I may need to zoom that partisan forward because at this point the grasshopper is the only thing in the ring. So that said, let me get back to the other side of the table and move some stuff. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is this hunter is actually pretty quick. It moves 5 inches. I'm going to move it right in here behind Archangel. Now Archangel does have 2 points of heat. I need to mark this up. And so she's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage to move, but I can still get her to here. She's not going to be contesting anything, and in fact maybe I'll slide the hunter over a little bit so she can get in this space here. I just have to move her 1 full inch back, so the 2 inches will do it. And then as far as the Scorpion goes, I mean, I was hoping to get him out of range of the LRM carrier, so I was tempted to kind of put him over here. I don't know if that will totally block line of sight or not. The other thing I can do is move him to here behind the the Orion, but again, then she's not going to be able to withdraw, and that's going to create all kinds of issues. So guys, I think I have to just move the Scorpion right to this this position here with its back up against the warehouse. Basically, we got the Scorpion in there, and we have the Hunter in there. Now, speaking of the Grasshopper and the Donegal Guard here, so the Partisan's going to go right there. This LRM carrier is too far out of the fight to even start moving it, and it's been very, well, mostly successful. Last round was a pretty big whiff, but I'm going to keep him stationary. And then this Savannah Master, I'm just going to get him out of the fight, basically. So we'll just take it off the board. Again, can only move backwards, really can't contribute to the fight. No sense in, losing it. So anyway, we got the LRM carrier and the Partisan moved. Savannah Master skedaddled. Now the Knights need to move their big guns. Okay, so we know Archangel, we've already talked about her move. She's got to go here, and she can fit in there nicely. So my calculations were successful. Now she isn't going to get a TMM, which is garbage. But frankly, this mech is scrapped and isn't going to be available. So I think she's just sitting there with her finger on the eject button at this point. In fact, I was going to say I might as well sprint, but that's not going to do anything. So we'll just leave her where she's at. So I don't know, this may seem a little cowardly, but what I'm thinking is if I can pull these mechs back to here, I will drastically limit the line of sight that the Banshee can bring to bear. It does sort of hang some of these other units out to dry because, again, we've got the Partisan and all these other things pulling in, but I mean, I really don't want to lose these mechs to a long-range firefight if I don't have to, and then I can bring 3 really powerful mechs in and around the following turn. Like if I move these guys here, guys, this Grasshopper can only go so many places, right? So that's what I think I'm going to do. I can move her back to here. I can move Falcon back to here. So this way, they all kind of have that line of sight this way, and feels like the right play. So on the Merc side, this Wolverine can either run around this way to the front, run around to the back. Obviously that would be awful because it would be out of line of sight of everything. Or I could climb it up here after I vacate that spot with the Grasshopper. So the one thing I don't want is I don't want to put the Grasshopper anywhere in this spot because it'll just be a fire magnet for all of those mechs. Well, I guess she's got no guns, but the Hunter as well. So I think what I want to do is if I just have to be careful about blocking the Partisan too. So I think what I can do is just really climb down and do a standard move to about here. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put the Wolverine right up here. And then this Banshee, going to move forward 3. Next turn it will be able to get in there. It's going to be do or die on these next couple of turns. So that's everything, guys. There's really not much now that this LRM carrier can see. I feel bad for that Hunter. He kind of got hung out to dry by the Battle Lance, but such is the vagaries of war. Alright, moving into shooting, turn 7. Here we are. The Knights having lost initiative twice in a row here. That's been tough. They've got to kick off shooting. So I guess we're going to lead off with Falcon. He can only see the Partisan and the Wolverine. I think I'm going to leave the Wolverine for Vegas. and Falcon's going to try to put a hole in that partisan. So here we go. He only needs 5s. The partisan not moving very fast. No cover. Here we go. Alright, so nails them all. That's 4 points of damage. The partisan does have 4 points of armor, but it is stripped. We do get a delicious motive roll. A 10. So that's going to slow that partisan down. No TMM for the remainder of the game there for that. Also now going down from a 3-inch move to a 2-inch move. Okay, actually I was wrong. The partisan has 3 armor and 4 structure. I thought it was a 4-3, not a 3-4. So it's actually a critical hit as well as the motive hit. So here we go. Looking for something good. A 7. So that's nothing on the vehicle side. Not too bad, although not what I was hoping for. But maybe this Scorpion, I was going to have him shoot the Grasshopper, but maybe I'll have him ping that partisan and see if I can put it into withdrawal. Will the Scorpion hit, guys? Quick, post in the comments. So here we go. It is skill 4. It is at medium range, I think. I'll measure it if it's close, but basically I need a 4-6. I need 7s. Here we go. 9. Miracles happen. So the partisan gets drilled by that Scorpion, basically dealing both a critical hit and a motive hit. Motive hit first. That's nothing. Critical hit. 11. So that is instantly killed, guys. That the Scorpion earning back my respect, one-shotting that partisan on the critical. So all the remaining internal structure just wiped out. That crew is annihilated. So Vegas sighting down this Wolverine. It's basically the only thing she can see. She needs 7s. It's not too easy, not too hard. Somewhere in the middle. We still do have a few points of luck left. Here we go. We're going to use them. If I can deal 2 points, this Wolverine gets toasted. No good. No good at all. Alright, can this Hunter give us a bailout? Also needs 7s, 2 points of damage. Looking to finish off this Wolverine. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Just 1 point of damage. It is a critical hit though. A 10. That's another fire control hit. So that Wolverine, about as good as dead, considering now it is at a +4 to hit. But still, was hoping just to finish it off. Let's see what else. I've got some infantry left. I think that's it. This retreating infantry, there's like 3 guys left in the squad or something. They're going to turn, and they're actually still in range of that Wolverine. When he elevated himself, he put him in line of sight. So they need an 8. This could be it. This could be the one I'm looking for. It is not. Alright, so I still have this infantry squad to shoot with. They are going to go for the Wolverine as well. It is elevated, so they can see it. They also need an 8. Unbelievable. Alright, well, such is life. I think that is everything on the Atrean Knights side. I have nothing really else to shoot with. But we destroyed that partisan. That was a big win. We've got that Grasshopper still in one piece, though. And I guess I didn't say this. The Grasshopper is positioned in such a way that nothing can see it. It is, barely visible, more than 66% obscured by that guard tower. It was like a miracle of science. Only the Scorpion could see it, but the shot on the partisan was well worth it. So, moving over to the Donegal side next, guys, I have a feeling they're going to put some hurt on these Atrean Knights, especially that poor Hunter. But we'll see if they can clear out the center. It's going to be tough. Alright, we're going for broke here. I need to kill the Scorpion, the Hunter, the Kestrel, and that infantry squad, which has been damaged. I think they took a pip earlier in the game. So the Griffin, I keep calling it Griffin, the Grasshopper, similarly can't see any of these mechs. Can see the Orion, but, again, doesn't do any damage, so it doesn't care. It's going to turn and fire on that Scorpion. So basically needs 5s.
Negative kill confirmation.
Unbelievable. God. Do I use a luck point? Well, actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. I didn't kill it, but I do put it into withdrawal. So I think we can consider that enough. Now, let's roll the motive hit up. I was looking for 4 points just to kill the thing, but you know what? Mission accomplished. No motive hit, critical hit, a 10. That's a weapon hit. So actually, that Scorpion, poor thing, does no damage. The last shot of the Scorpion kills the Partisan, but now that thing is basically, much like Archangel, just completely neutered. Alright, right in the little square here, that Partisan is going to unload its autocannon barrage on the Hunter. Does 2 points of damage at this range. Needs 7s. Only 1 point. I gotta check. I'm not sure if that's enough to put the Hunter into forced withdrawal. Let me just take a quick look at the sheet. No, doesn't even get internal. So the Hunter still okay. Motive hit. So it does blow a track or something along those lines. I believe a 9 is -1 inch of movement and -1 on the TMM as well. Alright, this Wolverine is going to need 8s targeting that Hunter. Here we go. Remember, I do have some luck. Do I use it? 1 point will be enough to put that Hunter into forced withdrawal. I think I'm going to keep it and let it stand. So that's another unit out of the center, although not quite dead. Looking for the motive hit and the critical hit. A 9. A 9 is a weapon hit on a vehicle. So that Hunter also, man, just LRM launchers getting knocked out, autocannons getting knocked out. It's bad news up here. So that Hunter in bad shape as well. Slowly, both these forces just getting depleted. I still have 2 choppers and that nasty Banshee. So the Banshee is going to shoot the Kestrel. I need 8s to hit it. So it's not easy, but you know, it's not impossible. I get 4 shots plus a luck reroll. I believe I just need to land 1 of these. There it is. So that Kestrel in forced withdrawal. The only thing holding down this center for the Atrean Knights is this infantry unit. And I have 2 choppers and an LRM carrier. Alright, so this infantry unit, I came to the realization this LRM carrier was going to indirect fire on it because it has no line of sight. And if I hit all of them, it still doesn't put the unit into forced withdrawal. The helicopters don't have line of sight because remember, they're basically at the same level as that Partisan, all the way down there at level 3, and this platform is at level 2. So they're barely above the ground. They don't actually have line of sight to the infantry. So what I am going to do, regardless, is indirect fire the infantry, try to just put as much pain on them as I can. I need 7s to hit. Alright, so that's 1 point of damage. Still wouldn't have done it even if I landed all 3. So it's sort of moot, just 1 point of damage. Couple platoon members get splattered by LRMs, but man, that is it. So let's talk about scoring, guys. We have this Banshee on the cusp of coming in the center. We have the Grasshopper, 2 pips of armor left, doing very well. Everything else is in forced withdrawal, except for this infantry platoon. So they are single-handedly holding this down for the Knights against basically two Lyran mechs. Alright, turn 8's coming right up. Alright guys, welcome back. Turn 8. Implications are so big, I wanted to roll initiative on camera here. So we've got our bluish-green dice here representing the Donegal Guard, the black and purple representing the colors of the Atrean Knights. There it is, the Donegal Guard pulling it out for a 3rd turn in a row. If not a 4th turn, I've lost track. So the Atrean Knights really getting unlucky here. But at the same time, I guess we all know where these units are going. So Atrean Knights going to have to make the first move. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to start with my vehicles here. Some pretty obvious moves. So both of these units in withdrawal, I'm just going to move them back. The Scorpion, I actually, considering it has no damage on it, I'm going to tuck him under this wing here and actually make a sprint move and try to get him as far away from all of this nonsense as I can. The convenient size of this Scorpion allows me to kind of fit it just under the wing of the dropship there, which is pretty cool. So that's where they're going. Nothing heroic there. All right. Similarly, I need to figure out what I'm doing with these helicopters here. So maybe I can just get them out of the way and put them here. I do think I want to raise their elevation though. I'm going to bring them up to level 6. So they definitely have enough. They did each take a motive hit actually, so let me think about this. 3, 4, yeah, they definitely have enough move. So I'm going to bring them up to level 6. They were at level 3, so that puts them, you know, again, up in this range. So if I lose them this turn, oh well. The reality is I just need to shoot that infantry off because I don't think the Knights are going to be able to get to that center ring this turn, but we'll see. All right, so simply put, this Kestrel is can't do anything. It doesn't shoot. I've got to keep it safe. So it is at level 3. Need to bring it up to level 4. I only have 11 inches of movement, so I'm going to bring it to here and then bring it back down to level 3 so that it can't be shot. I think I rolled this off camera. When it was shot by the Banshee, I rolled the motive hit. It did take one, just a 9 adjusted, so nothing serious, but enough to hamper its movement just a little bit and drop that TMM down. Now this infantry unit, still in the fight here. I really want to get, I think, Archangel out of the way. Now remember, she didn't shoot actually, so she bleeds off her heat. So I'm going to move this infantry unit just back just a little bit there, and then what I'm going to do is get her the hell out of the way, maybe sprint her back or figure something out, because I want this infantry unit to be able to contribute to the fight because they can still shoot. Now this infantry unit took 1 point of damage. They still have 2 pips left. So if they take those 2 pips, maybe I was doing my math wrong last time, but if they take 2 pips this turn, they do go into force withdrawal. So I have to be real smart about where I want to move them. You know, the Banshee can only go so far. So I think what I'm going to do here is sprint them, actually, to here. And I know you guys probably can't see this, but I'm putting them on the other side of the metal shed there that's in that central courtyard. And with the sprint move, it will at least give them a little bump in TMM. And this is where losing initiative hurts. I've said it once, I've said it twice, said it a million times. But what I want to do here is sprint Archangel back and around this corner so she can actually get to here, which is much further actually than I was expecting. She doesn't have any motive hits, right? No. So she can get there, that's good. I can keep that mech in one piece, hopefully. And then it opens up a lane for my infantry to shoot, and then also for these the Vanguard of Death to come in here now. And we are going to just get the Stalker right in here, right up behind that Scorpion. Maybe get some cover from the wing of the dropship. Now Falcon, and then I got Vegas, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Falcon across. And he's just going to crush this silly little Federated Commonwealth car here on the road. And I'm going to get him there. And then Vegas is just going to follow right in here. So we have a nice, sort of what I imagined happening. We have a nice tight grouping. Nobody can get to that middle. We'll pray that that infantry stays alive. But, you know, interestingly, it does create a tactical dilemma for me on the other side of the table, because do I shoot the freaking infantry? Do I waste all that firepower trying to kill an infantry unit? Or do I put firepower on these massive mechs that are, you know, bearing down on me? I'm going to have to think about that one. But anyway, that's the Battle Lance. We've got 3 points of luck left on this side. I got 3 mechs that can shoot. It's pretty convenient. It could be a telling turn. Alright, so on the other side here, few obvious moves. One, this guy has to move back, so we're going to just put him there with his ridiculous number of fire control hits. There's like marker dice everywhere. This has just been awful. I mean, there's critical hits all over the board. So many mechs just mangled. This grasshopper. So I think I see a real good move here with the grasshopper. I think I'm going to move the grasshopper to here. And what that's going to allow me to do is protect myself from most of these mechs. I can probably even cheat a little bit. I may be able to block line of sight from the stalker, and I have just a clear bead on those infantry. I don't think they're going to survive. And then I got to move this banshee into the center. Easy 3 inches here. She's just going to go right there like that. And guys, that's it. Movement's going pretty quick because everybody's dead. So we're going to get right into shooting. It's coming right up. Important note. Actually, the Donegal Guard no longer have their luck because that battle lance is under 3 functional units. They only have 2. So that's a big point of note here for this turn. And so, I think what I've decided to do is take the Stalker and fire at that Grasshopper. If I can deal 5 points of damage to it, then it will be enforced withdrawal. So the Stalker only needs 6s to hit. Again, if we get 5 points of damage here, we are good to go. And that's it. Alright, so that's huge. That Grasshopper now enforced withdrawal. That means only 1 Donegal Guard unit can actually hold this middle, and that is Bubbles. Well, and that LRM carrier, but let's face it, it's real slow. Before we start nuking Bubbles, we do get a critical hit on that Grasshopper. That's an engine hit. That is, oof. I've never seen engine hits until this campaign. I have never rolled 11. So that is the second engine hit in 2 missions. That Grasshopper definitely in a lot of pain now. So moving on here, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with Falcon. We're going to see how he does, as he has no overheat option. He is at medium range against the opposing commander and her Banshee. So he's only going to need a 5 here, guys. That's all I need. So 4 points of damage to start it off. I need to make some decisions about whether or not I want to overheat with Vegas or just hold it for 1 more turn. Alright, so I've hatched a plan again. So shooting Bubbles, even with overheat, isn't going to do a whole lot. I could put 2 points on her. That wouldn't be bad. That would only leave her with 2 pips. Make her ripe for forced withdrawal next turn. But really, this guy's such a pain on the bridge just sitting there. I'm going to start with this Hunter. And I'm going to fire at this LRM carrier on the bridge. I have 1 point of damage at long range. Fire control is still very much intact on this particular vehicle. So he's skill 3. Basically all I need is a 6 to hit here. I say all I need, but... oh, God. Well, there goes that plan. So the idea was if I hit him for 1 pip, and then she can double down for 2, that would actually put it in forced withdrawal, which would have been amazing. But that is not happening. So in that case, she is going to, in fact, shoot Bubbles. She only needs a 6. Only. Just only a 6, guys. Jeez, oh man. I'm going to spend that point of luck here. There it is. So 2 more points onto that Banshee. It's not going to do anything devastating, but still, they only have, again, 1 mech in the center courtyard here, and that's big. The Grasshopper only needs 6s to hit here. Here we go. Alright, so that infantry unit is splattered. That is unfortunate, but that is the end of them. So they're destroyed. That means the Donegal Guard are going to get a point. We've got the Wolverine up next. The Wolverine is going to shoot, I think it's going to shoot the, I can't see the Stalker. Let me think about this. Alright, I think we're going to double down on Falcon, try to take that commander out in retaliation for Scrapper. So this Wolverine needs 11s to hit. Here we go. Not happening. I Probably should have chain fired, but frankly, with my luck tonight, I don't think it matters. Now this LRM carrier does not have a clear shot to the Zeus, but it is going to be, in cover, stationary. They sort of net out, so really it needs 7s to hit. I am not going to chain fire. I'm going to group this up. Here we go. Alright, so 2 points of damage. That is going to strip that Zeus of armor, if I'm not mistaken. It leaves it right for that Banshee. Alright, she has her sights set on Falcon. Overheating. Only needs 5s. Here we go. That is a destroyed Zeus. So that command mech goes down.
Ejecting.
I'm punching out.
So Falcon undoubtedly ejecting from that Zeus as that mech is scrapped. Alright, these warrior choppers over here firing at the Stalker. That is the next biggest threat here. They need 6s, by the way. Alright, so 1 point on the Stalker. But that Zeus down, that's going to hurt. So now, guys, we've only got 2 mechs on the Knight side. We're going into turn 9. But that Banshee's sitting with 2 points of heat. It's ugly. Alright guys, it's turn 9. This one is to the bitter end. I thought that I had this in the bag for the Knights earlier when that Stalker missed all the shots on the Grasshopper. And you can see how, one thing like that, one inflection point like that really can make all the difference. So we are basically down to just 2 units on the Knights capable of holding an objective, 1 unit on the Donegal Guard capable of holding it, and it's a tie game 1-1. So I'm going to roll initiative here again on camera because this is just so critical. Maybe the Atrean Knights can win one. I really think this could make the difference here. And they don't. So the Donegal Guard win. Again, 4th or 5th time in a row. Unbelievable. I do feel like I'm playing against Kevin. So it is turn 9. The Atrean Knights are going to have to make the first move here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do here is get this Kestrel out. So I'm going to move it 10 inches to here and then move it down 1 inch basically to level 2. Important note also, the Atrean Knights now without their luck as they only have 2 functional mechs left. I think we knew that was going to happen though, at least I did. So that's that. Now the Donegal Guard. Alright, well similarly these helicopters are just going to move back 1 inch respectively. They're going to maintain their height and altitude, try to maybe plink some shots off at those Atrean Knight heavies. Alright, so we need to move these Atrean Knight vehicles. I'm going to move this Hunter back 1 inch. Both of them are in withdrawal. This Scorpion, again, driving it under the wing. Basically, I'm going to move it 6 inches back to here. It does not have any weapons, and if we do go into the next game, potentially even a game 5, I would want that unit alive. So I'm just going to try to get it out of any kind of line of fire. Alright, also I forgot on the other side there, this infantry platoon, I did just move that back 1 inch. I should have moved that with the Kestrel, but also in withdrawal, really nowhere to go. This LRM carrier, I guess I'm going to move it forward at this point in the game. So I'm going to get it right to the end of the bridge here. But now it's on to the mechs, guys. This is where it's at. I'm going to move the Stalker basically to here, and that's just going to get his base in the center ring there, and then Vegas is going to move to here, and we're going to just unload. And I want to try to take out some stuff. I want to try to get that Banshee down, but again, if we put that Banshee in withdrawal, we score 1 more point. Even if they put both of my mechs into withdrawal, it's still going to be an Atrean Knight victory. Alright, so I think I'm just going to keep the Banshee still. I'd rather have that buff to my gunnery to offset the heat penalty than move her and try to... I'm not even sure what I could do. I can only move 1 inch. So there's that. This Wolverine needs to move back another inch. and this grasshopper needs to move as well. So I think we're going to put the grasshopper like right there. All right, guys, well, that's movement. So we're going to get right into shooting. I think this could be the end. We'll see. This is it. This is what it comes down to. This stalker is just outside of short range, which is fortuitous because at short range its damage goes down to 3. I am going to overheat to 3 points. I am going to try to knock this Banshee out of commission in one fell swoop. I need 6s to hit. That is inclusive of the heat penalty from last turn that we incurred. Really wish I still had my lucky, but such is life. Here we go, guys. I mean, it couldn't get really any worse than that. So it's 4 out of the 7 hit. Now, if I just would have tapped one more die higher there, would have been so much better. But all right, let me see where that lands on the Banshee. That is going to go internal, but it is not going to put it into withdrawal. That is going to generate a critical hit, though. Here we go. An 8. I believe that is a weapon hit. All right, so we are going to start with this infantry unit. If the infantry unit and the hunter can both hit, it will put Bubbles into forced withdrawal. So here we go. We need a 6 from this infantry unit. This walking tank here, very easy to hit. And that's it. So that is a hit. So that infantry unit dealing 1 point of damage to Bubbles, also generating a critical hit just at the extreme threshold of range here, an 8. So that is a weapon hit. So that is going to be 2 weapon hits on Bubbles. That's big. This hunter has been hanging in like a champ. He only needs 5s to hit. It's hard to believe, but again, Bubbles did not move. Maybe that was a bad idea, but again, the difference between 5s and 6s at this range, when they're moving that slow, 1 point. Here we go. If he hits, this hunter will put Bubbles into forced withdrawal. That's a hit. So that Titanic Banshee, now in forced withdrawal, and the hunter generates another critical hit. Here we go.
1 engine destroyed. Ejecting.
That is 2 destroyed commanders in the Donegal Guard, headhunted, but almost certainly Bubbles survived. She saw this one coming. Ammo started detonating. She's ejecting. She's out. But that mech is now destroyed. Guys, that is huge. It has major implications on whether or not the Donegal Guard are even going to be able to sustain the offensive into turn 9. But Vegas still has to shoot, and then we'll get over to the other side of the table. So Vegas and our trusty rifleman torso twisting, going for broke here, overheating to, I'm going to try to knock this grasshopper out of commission. I believe it has 3 pips left. Full house, will more than destroy it.
Scratch off another one.
I think I rolled that extra die there because it did make a difference. So that is 2 of the remaining Donegal mechs destroyed. We only have this Wolverine left now with the double fire control hit, the LRM carrier, and a couple of choppers. But it really is a last stand here for the Donegal Guard. Alright, there is a slim chance that these Donegal Guard can knock out both of these Atrean Knights. It's going to be hard. So first things first, Bubbles is going to overheat as well, shutting down. She basically needs 3, 4, 5, 6s. She only needs 6s to hit this Stalker. Here we go. That's a full house. Alright, so 6 points of damage on the Stalker. That will generate a critical hit.
Warning. Internal ammo explosion detected. Ejecting.
Ammo explosion. Would you believe it? Blood for blood, guys. You could not script it. I said it last week. I'll say it again. So both of these assault mechs, sky high on this dropship platform. The Stalker blown to bits. Bubbles blown to bits as well. What a fitting end for both of these Titanic mechs. So Now we've got the Grasshopper and the Wolverine, the choppers and the LRM launcher. Can Vegas withstand it all? Let's see. Alright, this Grasshopper is within short range. Only gets 3 dice. Needs 5s. Whew, on fire. Alright, so 3 points stripped from Vegas. Alright, so the Wolverine does have clear line of sight, but again, double fire control hit. He's going to need 9s. Nothing doing there. Alright, so let's move right into this LRM carrier. So this is the meat and potatoes here. Now there is some blocking terrain in between the LRM carrier and Vegas. He is at long range. So going to need a 3, 6, 7, and 8. Debating on whether to chain fire or group fire. Alright, I thought about it. Gonna group fire, guys. Here we go, going for broke.
Fire the missiles.
That is a miss. Alright guys, so you can kind of see it from the vantage point here of the choppers. The one on the right does have clear line of sight. The one on the left, she does have at least 33% cover. Now I need a 6 and a 7 to hit here. So first, can I get a 7? Here we go. Can I get a 7? Can I get a 6?
Under heavy fire.
There it is. So you know what that means. The end of shooting, the LRM carrier shot, the Banshee shot, the Wolverine shot, the Grasshopper shot. Vegas still stands in the middle, barely holding on. The shrapnel of the Stalker and the Banshee just shrouding her cockpit. Grasshopper also exploding nearby. It is just this turn 3 mechs in that central area just getting absolutely bowled over. It is total carnage. The Donegal Guard have no more units to contest except for that LRM carrier, but it's not going to get there in time. I think this is it. Wargamers, it is turn 10. So I thought about ending it at turn 9, but this LRM carrier is still very viable, so I wanted to give it an opportunity to see if we could get in there and score. Here's what happened. The Atrean Knights won initiative, and I think that's what's going to seal the deal. So essentially I moved all of the units in forced withdrawal first. The Kestrel, the Infantry, the Hunter. On the Donegal Guard side, the Warriors staying together over there, the Wolverine backing up on top of those crates. The LRM carrier did not sprint, making a 3-inch move forward because I wanted to be able to shoot Vegas, but then I realized she could make a sprint move, still be within 3 inches of that center objective, but she is totally out of line of sight of everybody. That LRM carrier cannot see enough of that mech to count as a shot, so that mech totally obscured. So now the Atrean Knights scoring another point, and next turn it's going to be brutal because maybe those Warriors can try to get elevation. They might exchange some fire with that Hunter, maybe even destroy it, but ultimately it's going to take some time for that LRM carrier to get into range, and if it does decide to sprint next turn, it's at short range to a rifleman that can do 4 points of damage with an excellent pilot. I just think that that's it, guys. Here we are. Critical spaceport situated just off the coast in the Bordella Reef on the planet of Eton. A critical strong point for the Donegal Guard, now overrun by the Atrean Knights, or at least what's left of them. So sacrifices on both sides, heroes ejecting from their flaming mechs, Falcon, Reaper, Bubbles, some great household names here at DFA. Their mechs now in charred, smoldering ruins to be claimed here by the victor. This Kestrel and the infantry doing an amazing job once again, helping to at least control the tide of those fast-moving vehicles in the Donegal Armor Brigade. And then once those two battle lances came to blows, well, there wasn't a whole lot left. Vegas just barely holding on, but really just the hero unintentionally of this campaign. Lots of 12s, lots of luck, but the Donegal Guard made them pay, no doubt about it. It was a close match, but guys, this one goes to the Atrean Knights. And now, having secured this critical facility, the Atrean Knights can not only repair and refit and walk away with some extra firepower, but now they can make their way into the clan invasion corridor and face down unknown foes of much greater power. So stay tuned, guys. The after action report is coming right up.
Get a salvage team in here, stat. I need that Zeus operational. Oh, and someone get me a ride.
Alright guys, there it is, 282 points, it's done. The campaign is over. It was an Atrean Knights sweep in 3 games. I thought that at some point in this battle, especially when Bubbles got into the fight, that the Donegal Guard were actually just going to crush this entire mission. However, it just didn't work out. I was surprised. The Grasshopper is just nasty. 4 damage at medium, tons of armor. The Wolverine's pretty tough in its own right. Bubbles, I mean, oh my god, the 12s. What is happening? The Atrean Knights just on fire with those critical hits, but that is the way the dice fall sometimes. Initiative was a big thing in this mission as well. The Donegal Guard kept winning it, but they just couldn't seem to capitalize and clear the Knights out of that center area. A lot of cat and mouse with the Stalker. I thought that was kind of fun. You know, when it backed up, you know, overheated, basically shut down for a turn, came back into the fight, and then that thing got nuked as well. Very cool stuff. So very neat to see when things like that happen. It just makes it feel all the more cinematic. You know, I think overall, the mission, as we know, this one's tried and true. This is a great mission. No complaints there. It is intended to be just sort of a center slugfest. This might be the first time we played it in Alpha Strike, and it does, of course, play very differently. If, for example, one force plays all very slow heavy mechs, and the other force plays a lot of fast light mechs and light vehicles and can get to that center much quicker, they'll get an early lead, and it will be very hard for that opposing force to peel them off from range, again, because of those high TMMs and things like that. So I think that underscores the importance of building a force to the mission and always bringing, you know, the right sort of balance of units in your campaign force, which is, you know, sort of a cool meta aspect to this whole campaign piece in general. So some things I think that I need to do with the campaign rules, I need to go back and take a look at the repair costs and the mercenary hire costs. I'll tell you why. So I think the repair costs are pretty close. There might be some things I want to tweak. It might even be how many SP you just start with. I felt like both forces really weren't that depleted, but again, if it wasn't a 3-game sweep and you go into Game 4 and Game 5, I think there would be some issues there. The other thing that I came to realize is mercenaries. I mean, I don't care if they just run in and die, right? Because you don't have to pay to repair them. And it's the same thing in our classic campaign as well. So I'm sort of wondering if you should be on the hook for the repairs too, because that will make you play with them a little bit more conservatively. Because, you know, frankly, what you could do in a game of like Seek and Destroy, where you have to kill the buildings, you could just hire a team of suicide mercs and run them in. And if they die, like whatever, you know, you pay the SP basically to get the win, because it's very easy to do that. I mean, the whole point, I think the counterbalance, I guess, of Seek and Destroy is that, you know, you don't want to suicide because there is that Pyrrhic victory rule and things like that. So there might be an aspect to this, that mercenary hire, that I want to tweak so that maybe you're on the hook for repairs. The other thing that crossed my mind, and we've been talking about this at DFA for a while, is some form of morale rules. There are morale rules in the Alpha Strike Commanders Edition. I think they're in Total War as well, but they're sort of, I don't want to say mutually exclusive with force withdrawal, but they just don't make any sense with force withdrawal because it's sort of like overlapping. So I'm thinking like, you designate like a force commander, maybe they're sub-commanders, they have certain leadership values. When you lose, say, 50% of your force or a certain number of your force, I don't know if you guys have played any 40K type games, but there's that concept of leadership, and when you hit below a certain threshold, you have to make like a break check, right? And it seems like in a certain scenario where you have one Savannah Master left, and they've got, 2 heavy lances, like the dude's not sticking around. I mean, he's hoofing it. Unless he's like the battle-hardened commander and he understands the importance of this mission. But if he's just like a regular old, private first class, he's done. He's not, he's not in there for the glory. So I don't know. We're going to explore some of those things. Would be interested in your feedback or any house rules that you guys use along the lines of morale. Always love crowdsourcing good ideas. So if you have them, guys, please send them my way. Additionally, if you have any feedback on the campaign in general, please either leave that in the comments or, of course, email us at DFA Wargaming. So that's that, guys. A lot of great mechs on this field. I think my MVPs, like an unsung hero, the Striker tank. Great unit, right? It's got just that nice solid punch. It's not too expensive. And that wheeled movement, right, gets that 5-inch or 8-inch sprint. That's really good. That was one of the first vehicles I added to the Atrean Knight force. I got that one over at Aries Games and Minis, guys. Don't forget to check him out. So many great minis over there from, basically any era in BattleTech that you want. So pretty cool stuff there. And, I think on the Donegal guard side, the MVP goes to those Warriors. It's another just solid unit. They're cheap, they're hard to hit, and they were great to get in there and contest. They couldn't control it, but they could just be a pain in the butt long enough that I had to shoot at them. And then that Stalker too, though. How about that? When he rolled the luck, I managed to knock them into force withdrawal. Great game. It was really fun to play against myself. Really hoping that maybe I can get another human being over here soon to play a game. It seems like they're starting to ease things up around the country, so that would be great. I know a lot of you guys, we've been talking online in Discord, on Instagram, right? I mean, everybody's just dying to play a game with another human being. Trust me, I am too. And I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you're enjoying this quarantine content. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It really does help the channel. I see those subscriptions go up every day, and I really appreciate it. So again, if you're one of those 50% out there that have not yet subscribed, please just click that little red button that says subscribe on it. I would really appreciate that. And of course, guys, you can check us out online at our website, dfawargaming.com. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and you can find us over on Discord as well. So thanks again, guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. And of course, stay tuned. Always great stuff coming from Death from Above Wargaming.